On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Dude 1 and Dude 2 will talk new toy and Star Wars gaming news before slipping into non-collectible topics. These include Brie Larson's failed Star Wars auditions, as well as a new look at what Mando may look like during Season 2. Of course, they'll talk about the future Star Wars interview from Kathleen Kennedy, in which she discusses the cinematic side of the franchise and other Star Wars projects. If that's not enough, we have the legendary fan segment to close things out with a new fan question of the week on Star Wars villains and our prestigious Top 5 Plus 1 Star Wars Fan Artist Features of the Week. Cue the music. Hey, now, everybody out there in Star Wars Time Show land, it's Matt, it's Nick. We are back for a brand new edition of the Star Wars Time Show. And at this time, we have one of our loyal fandos out there, Cryo Photography. He's in the live stream chat right now, getting ready to waste upwards of 2 hours of his life listening to our dumb shit. Tones is in there. Ooh, a Sylvia, a new one in the peanut gallery. Welcome. Hopefully those of you that are new, you'll stick around and you'll make it more than 5 minutes, because it's kind of tough to make it more than 5 minutes on this show, but some of you do, some of you don't. Let's get to it. All right, Nick, we actually have a few topics to get into today, but as we like to do, we just kind of shoot the shit here at the opening, talk a little bit about life. We're talking about how our hat project has already just completely failed. We've talked about how the Teespring project has already completely failed. So all of you that wanted this, that, and the other thing, and the hats and the shirts, where are you? I told you this would be a waste of our time. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. No one listens to the show outside of like 10 of you, and you 10 already bought the damn hats, and one of you bought a shirt, and now they're just sitting in inventory, aka my basement right over there in a closet.
Well, just in case we start getting new fans and they become loyals, there's plenty of stock of hats left for you. There's 11 hats left in multiple sizes, whether it be LXL or small medium. And then we have an entire Teespring store where you can get any number of pieces of merchandise. You can get face masks, you can get t-shirts,
I
you can
knew
get
it
hoodies.
though. I knew it though. I knew we'd spend our time. You know, our time is valuable. It's precious. I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, so clearly my time is worth gold. Nick has been kind of laid off on purpose. His time is gold.
Yeah.
All right. So you can't ask us to do this bullshit and then not come through. In all seriousness, I told you so. I knew it. Nick knew it. I mean, he's the one telling me once the hats are gone to just fucking burn down the store I just spent 12 hours building on the site.
I was like, look, just after we sell these out, do not do another run.
You're right. I was telling him before we went live. I mean, just to get the fucking hats online and shipped to people, I've probably personally dropped $600. I bought a printer. I mean, we've needed a printer, but I'm still going to blame it on you assholes. Just buying the hats, doing the time to ship it out, printing labels, this, that, and the other thing. So, I don't know. We do it for you, and clearly you guys don't pay us back in turn because we're still sitting at low ratings and reviews on iTunes. I don't think we have any ratings on reviews on our other podcasting platforms, which are all of them. We're everywhere. So yeah, we're coming right at you. We're punching you right in the face. What the fuck? Super fans, we get it. You guys do the duty. But as I say during the dance at the end of every show, you need to start tricking, infecting, poisoning other people's minds with our nonsense. All right? We got to grow beyond the base. We don't want to become MAGA Star Wars, right? We want to go beyond our base. We've got a nice little swagger, if you will, swagger. Star Wars Time Show, always great, again. But we need to expand that base. So I guess we just got to do better, or you fans need to do better. Thank you.
So the other quick announcement up in the front of the show is that there will be no live stream next week. Matt is going to take a vacation. He is so mentally distressed by the failure of this hats project that he's just leaving.
I considered just shutting the whole goddamn thing down. The Star Wars Time Show deleted.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, for the first time since March, the Haywood family is going to venture outside of their 1 square mile in Columbus, Ohio. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a break. I think it's going to be the first show I've missed since March. That was the show when Nick and Taylor got on and kind of filled in for me. That was always fun. So Nick is committed to at least doing an audio only version of the show next week. So 126 again. You will not have my stupid ass talking on it, which should be a relief to most of you, because these days, I don't know, like if I'm going senile, if I'm developing some sort of serious condition, but I always feel like I'm slurring and I'm not even drinking anymore. So I don't know what's going on.
Just mental fatigue. You got the cabin fever. It's just
I don't know what it is. I need to go see a doctor too. We've talked about this. I feel like I've got some form of cancer growing on the whole right side of my face, but not being an MD myself and not being an asshole like most Americans and thinking I'm an MD and knowing science, my diagnosis of full-on face cancer is probably incorrect.
Probably.
But that's what I'm rolling with right now, and we'll have to figure some shit out. But I don't know if that's why I slur sometimes. See right there. Or if my tongue's getting too fat or what. Sup. Hey, there's Joe in the live stream. He got himself a hat shipped there. Hey, how about those of you that bought the hats? Let's give a round of applause to our USPS. Because I'm telling you, you guys got shit sent to you as if quickly, like priority. I mean, I basically wrapped the things in duct tape and kicked them down the street like Ace Ventura, right? Everyone remembers the opening of Ace Ventura, where he's like a FedEx guy or UPS guy, just punting this fragile box all down the street,
and it's just breaking and jingling the whole way.
Right. So it's Star Wars time. Part of your shipping and handling fee is to have me just beat the living shit out of your package.
Yeah, I think the reason that it got there so fast is that people are so freaked out that USPS isn't working that they just stopped sending shit to them.
Probably. I mean, even on the receipt, it's like, oh, it's not going to get there till Saturday or whatever. I mean, these guys, Joe got one. I think Kiyoshi got one early. I don't know if Chris up in Canada got his yet. Just sent one out to Adrian. So at this point in time, all the hats that have been ordered are shipped. Orders have been completed. The Aussie box is on its way.
On the way in. And I know that Spencer's shirt that he ordered from the Teespring shipped, so he should be getting that soon as well. So all the merch is out there and on its way or received.
Look in the chat. What the fuck did I miss? Matt has face cancer? No, that's a little bit of Star Wars Time Show fake news. There's something going on with the right side of my face, down the throat. Don't know what it is, but because I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to sit here and tell you as if I am an expert what it is. I have no idea. It's been going on for a while. Maybe I talk too much. There's a lot of merit behind that guess. So who knows?
More water.
But like most people, I've just been putting it off and letting the cancer get worse and worse because I don't want to get the news,
Yeah. But outside of just our day-to-day miserations, we do have some Star Wars news to talk about. We got some toy reveals. We got some potential game reveals coming up. Hey, we also have a potential season 2 Mando armor reveal.
Yeah, there's some good Star Wars stuff to talk about. But why the hell do we want to talk about Star Wars stuff? Did you guys venture out to a movie this weekend?
Did not do that. We were strongly considering making the journey to see Bill and Ted, but
is that out? Like I thought that was coming out Friday, 28th.
They did. So Alamo Drafthouse over here did like an exclusive preview thing where they opened it early and only a certain number of people were allowed to go. But we didn't go to that. But we're considering it. we're considering
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I saw that
pretty soon.
It's weird, at least here in the States, for the first time since March, we got an actual box office champion, and it was Russell Crowe's Unhinged, which I'm guessing
movie looks weird,
probably terrible, but the fact that there's nothing to see besides old movies, kind of won the day. I know New Mutants is going to try to release this week, right? Yeah,
New Mutants has been, trying to come out. I mean, but here's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of movies that are like, for example, if you remember back to when Cabin in the Woods released, because Chris Hemsworth got massive off of Marvel, that movie was done. Like Cabin in the Woods had been done for years, and it was just sitting on a shelf because nobody that was in the movie was actually like very popular. And they were waiting to see, like, can we just release this movie as is? Do we go direct to DVD? But then when Hemsworth popped off, boom, they released it and it was big. So I feel like this...
I like that movie. I like that movie.
Cabin in the Woods is great.
Because Hemsworth kind of plays a schmo, right? Like he gets... Yeah. He's not even like a lead in that. Yeah,
he dies like halfway through the movie or something like that. But I feel like this Crow film probably has been done for a while, and it's just been like sitting on a shelf, and people are like, it's probably shitty, we're not going to do it. But then they're like, oh well, wait,
hey, there's no competition.
Yeah, just release it now and we can do well. So
it's weird. I mean, do you find it weird that Disney, they own the New Mutants at this point? That came over with the Fox purchase. It's probably the last Fox X-Men project ever.
Yeah.
Do you find it weird that with that property, they're like, yeah, let's roll the dice and try theatrical and get some cash, when Mulan guaranteed going to make money in the theaters? They're just like, nah, fuck it. We're going to do this new thing where you pay us to subscribe to our shit and then pay us an additional fee to own our new shit.
I will never understand the decision to do that with Mulan. I don't know if it's because it is like a proper Disney property that they don't want to take a risk. And they figure like, I feel like they mathed Mulan and they figured, all right, I think they've already crossed 10 million subscribers. They're like, okay, we have 10 million subscribers on here. If we get 1% to pay the 30, then we make X amount of money, which covers us.
Yeah.
Or, like they figured out that math in their head. And they were like, if we can get a minimal portion of our subscribers to actually pay the $30 that we're asking people to pay to watch this movie, then we're covered. Whereas with New Mutants, it's no risk, no reward. If there is a reward at all, they're like, we didn't put any money into making this. Fox did.
Yeah,
so we don't have
you're right. I mean, at this point,
the
they're probably just paying for whatever little marketing bits they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Mulan still is hitting theaters too, though, right? Or no?
I don't think it is.
No.
Unless they do like a post-corona release.
Like, I just know there was a viral thing of like a cinema owner trashing the Mulan display after they announced that it was going to Disney Plus.
Dude, the cinema owners are really pissed, and I understand because like their business is suffering.
Yeah,
and like
I mean, there are no movies. There's only like one or two studios that are still pretending that you can release movies right now, especially in the States. I mean, here in the chat on the live stream, our buddies down from the land down under, I mean, they're like, yeah, Tenet's coming out next week. Wonder Woman 84, they're going to try for October. It's like, I don't know, who knows?
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's a question mark. But with New Mutants, what confuses me about that movie is that movie's essentially been remade 3 times. Because like, if you remember when New Mutants was first announced, it was like this horror movie. It was like these X-Men children, like these mutant children, are inside of an insane asylum, and it was a horror movie.
Right.
And people were stoked about it. And then before Disney even bought Fox, they pivoted. They like moved it from this horror thing to like more of an action-oriented, like an action horror
it's
type
more
of
than
movie.
likely not going to be good.
No, probably not. I mean, people will see it because Macy Williams is in it. Macy Williams is the girl who played Arya Stark in Game of Thrones. So, I mean, there's some appeal there. But, like, I was more excited for the original version where it was kind of breaking the mold of the traditional superhero film than what it has turned into.
There's still, like, people comparing it. They're calling it Nightmare on Elm Street 7 or something like that. I mean, they're making comparisons to the Freddy films.
Yeah, well, if you remember how Nightmare on Elm Street went as you went along the series, they got progressively campier and progressively worse.
Oh no!
So,
all right, well, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I love going to the movies. AMC, you know, they've done their due diligence, at least as much as you can in this time in this country to get people in the theaters, and it's still like,
yeah. I mean,
definitely not New Mutants. I mean, Tenet is the one that might pull me in.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, yeah, really? Is it going to be worth that, the risk?
Yeah. I mean, like, if we go, we'll do it. Because, like, I mean, Taylor and I have flown on a plane. So we...
Oh, you're fucking crazy. You already have the disease then.
Yeah. Like, we... you know, wiped down our seats before we sat down. We made sure that we had hand sanitizer with us to, like, we didn't get any drinks from the people, you know, from the, you know, the flight attendants or anything like that. So I feel like if we do a movie, we have to do it like that, where like you go in, you're masked up, you have hand sanitizer, you have your wipes, you wipe everything down. You don't fucking go to the bathroom. You don't get food.
I guess now, and like Time just put out a piece today, but now scientists are finally kind of hunkering down, circling around the fact that this shit is aerosol based as well now.
I heard something
not just droplet like a cough, like fucking, and it just hangs in the air and you fucking can suck it in. So, I can rent a theater. I heard we got Sean in the chat here on the live stream saying I can rent a local theater because we live in the same city for $100 to $150. Well, shit.
Oh wow,
that's a deal.
That's not bad.
I mean,
yeah,
that's a fucking deal.
So can you, like, if you do that $150, then like you can watch any of the new movies that are available?
I might have to get with Sean offline to see what this is all about. I didn't know this was happening, but. That's fucking cheap considering like just a normal movie ticket's $15. You're telling me I can get the whole damn theater for $150? That's how fucking bad the cinema industry is now.
Yeah, they're trying to get people in. And then in that case, like,
oh my God,
you could bring your family.
Yeah.
And then you could still invite like 2 other families, and then y'all can just be socially distanced and, like, you know, you have the whole theater to yourself. So, I mean, hey, that's not bad.
Unbelievable. But like I said, I mean, AMC, it's kind of neat what they've done. I don't know about you. You're a Regal guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But essentially now, if you book your seat, as soon as you click your seat, the system is automatically like, all right, he bought seat D5 now, D6, D7, D8, D9, they're gone.
So yeah, I think with Regal, they have it roped off automatically before any seats are bought. So they'll have like 2 seats together, then 3 seats roped off, then they'll have 4 seats together, and then they'll have 3 seats roped off. So like it doesn't like let you pick your initial seat.
I'm thinking the AMC's way is the way to go if the program logic holds up and people aren't stupid.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is if you have multiple people buying in very short time windows, then it could fuck it up. Right. So like if you go in and you buy seat 5B,
that's what I mean. You know, will the logic, will the if-then loop, right? I mean, I know you're not a programmer, but you know enough. Will the if-then loop catch that in time? Is there a function to catch, as Nick said, my fat ass hitting seat D6 and his fat ass hitting D7? Will that catch? I mean, who knows? It'll be interesting, but I can tell you, at least the AMC by me in Columbus, Ohio, I think last Friday was the first night back. Everything sold out.
Wow.
Now, I mean, you're talking 40% capacity screenings, but everything was sold out. And it was a lot of old movies. Empire was in there, Back to the Future. I think there was also their 15-cent ticket offering. So there was probably people taking up on that stuff. But
yeah, I think that like that may be the first thing that we venture and try to do, because I mean, our Regals close to us were 40% capacity at best with just normal ass movie releases.
Yeah.
So now with COVID, you know, you're probably not
my theater was always, it would get busy. I mean, Thursday night, new releases, if it was a mega movie, it would be fucking slammed. I miss it, man. I mean, I haven't been to a movie, I think, since March. I think the last movie I saw in theaters was What was that animated one with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland? They're troll brothers.
Oh, the Onward.
Yeah, Onward. Really good movie, even if you don't have kids. But that was the last in theater experience I've had. So
last thing we saw was JoJo. I think Jojo Rabbit, and that was because like we went way late in its run. Like I think they re-released it around.
Yeah,
Oscar season.
You went when it was getting Oscars consideration, because I remember this. We were probably talking about it right before Co-Fuck and all the nonsense that went down in March. But that's crazy. I still can't think about renting a theater for $150.
Dude, that's not bad. I mean, fuck.
I would walk in with my own cleaning supplies for that. I mean, shit. I'd be like, hey, janitor, you take it easy, pal. I mean, I get this whole thing for $150. Like, let's go.
I'll do the cleaning.
Yeah, apparently a group of people did that and went and watched ESB. I mean, sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. So
dig
not bad.
Dig it. All right, well, there's our opening there. Those of you with little kids, I am fucking hooked. Hooked so much on this show, Miraculous on Netflix, that my daughter and I, we have now gone back and we're rewatching the available seasons, because I think I talked about this last week, but
yeah,
the final episode aired and I'm like, what? We can't end on this. This can't be a series finale. I had to go look it up, but still digging Miraculous. Got the little one. I bought her a ladybug jumpsuit as a surprise this weekend, Nick, and gave it to her, and she went absolutely bonkers. So
there you go.
Scoring those daddy points. But if you're like us and you're into kind of geeky stuff and you want to get into watching shows with your kids, Miraculous is kind of good. I mean, there's some goofy, like, teeny stuff, like girls loving boys and crushes and whatnot, but it also has some good life lessons in there. I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like French anime. It's like French and Japanese people got together and made a show about superheroes set in Paris.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, I mean, it's something to watch. Right now, I'm sure that everybody is exhausted their quarantine playlists.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I still have a ton. Wife and I, we finally got through the second season of Altered Carbon. I'd been sitting on that.
We need to finish watching that too.
The second season, major letdown compared to the first. Nothing against Anthony Mackie. I think Joel Kinnaman was so much better as Kovac. But
dude, Teenage Bounty Hunters. If you're an adult, it's on Netflix. It sounds stupid. Watch Teenage Bounty Hunters. It's hilarious.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that there's anybody in there that you would know, but it is just such a funny show. It's about these two high school girls who, like, you know, get wrapped up with this bounty hunter and ended up becoming like his apprentices. And they're like running around catching all of these, you know, these skips and all that. It's just so funny. It's like 45 minutes long per episode, so it's got good episode length.
I've heard about that one from somewhere. There really is just so much fucking shit to watch.
Yeah,
it gives me anxiety, which I have right now because we just finished Altered Carbon last night. So now I'm thinking I've got that pressure of What are we going to move on to next?
Dude, I'm telling you, do Teenage Bounty. If you want something to like come down off of like the serious tone of Altered Carbon or something like that, do Teenage Bounty Hunters. It's just so funny, dude. It's so ridiculous.
The intern said what's that new show on HBO Max? The Lovecraft
Country.
Yeah,
I've
apparently
heard,
that's
I haven't
pretty good.
Started that yet. But I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, Bossajan in the chat saying Man in the High Castle. I've completed that. That's definitely a great little series. I mean, let's be real. A guy that does a podcast on a sci-fi series, it's not hard to figure out what I'm into. I love anything science fiction, alternate realities, multi dimensions, that type of shit, time traveling. I could eat that stuff up. So I might do Umbrella Academy too.
We did Umbrella Academy. We finished both seasons. It's good. Like some people, I don't know.
I love season one. I thought it was a little different. It's a little unique take on kind of powered people. So I'm looking forward to season two. I just don't know if I can cram the wife into just, don't worry about the first season and let's go.
Yeah, that might be
because a lot of shit happens in the first season of Umbrella that you I'm assuming you need to know for the events of season two. But.
I mean, like because of the way one of the things plays out, like you relive a bit of the first season. So like you can get caught up just seeing season 2, but it's not necessarily, but like it's still better to have seen it.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's so much shit. I want to watch. I mean, I'm still paying like an asshole for CBS All Access, and they've got that new animated Trek series. I want to check that out. Yeah. But it's like, because I'm a dickhead, I just pay the money and then don't use it.
Don't use it, yeah.
I mean, that's literally the only one I don't use. I mean, I don't use a lot of Hulu, but I get that through my Spotify, and I use Spotify every day, so I don't feel bad. We hit Disney Plus usually at least once a week. Netflix is by far the leader. I use my YouTube TV, but CBS All Access I bought for Picard, rolled into Discovery, loved it, and then I'm just a lazy piece of shit and can't take the 2 seconds to cancel my account or put it on hold. But there's definitely no shortage of shit to watch or games to play. I'm still rolling through Ghosts, just slow burning that thing because I don't want it to end.
I played like 4 or 5 more hours of KOTOR over the week. So now,
you're going old school. I'm sticking with these Sony gems we're getting to close out this generation.
I just want to finish KOTOR 1 because I stopped my playthrough probably halfway through the game on Manan. So now I finished Manan, I finished Korriban. I'm now at the Rakatan civilizations in the Starforge system. So towards the end of the game. And, I just want to finish it so I can say like, all right, I finished that one. I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then I'll just continue playing through The Last of Us 2. And,
that's a shame. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to shame you a bit. You need to finish that game over KOTOR.
I know.
That game, it should be game of the year, game of the generation. I mean, it's fucking magical. And then Ghosts coming right off of that. I mean, we've said it like 3 casts in a row, and I know it's getting repetitive, but I mean, Ghost should be our Star Wars game. That should have been our Fallen Order. I cannot tell you how enjoyable it is to even fire it up for 10 minutes and just do a little jerk-off mission. I'm talking like, if you played the game, Nick, there's this, it's like a little, I don't even call it a QTE, but it's a way to build up a stat set for your character where you slash at bamboo by hitting, even doing that for 5 minutes makes turning it on worth it. I'm digging the story. I'm in the Act 3. I'm a huge fan. I wish I could get myself a Lord Jin Sakai action figure at this point. And when I start wanting action figures, that means it's really moved into a place of honor within my geeky soul. So
there you go.
Big fan of Ghosts. Can someone please make a fucking Star Wars game exactly like it? I don't even care if it's set on Tsushima. It could be the same fucking island, everything. Just dub in lightsabers for their katanas.
There you go.
But yeah, we've got other suggestions in the chat here on stuff to watch, some old, some new. I mean, Punisher, obviously, we've got connections to that through my buddy. He is Frank's double in season 1. So anytime there's a fight scene, that is my stunt friend getting his ass kicked or kicking Daredevil's ass. And then Punisher season 2, he was the full-on stunt coordinator. So the fight in the gym with the weights to the faces, all that type of stuff came from my buddy's demented head.
There you go.
And Witcher, another one. I thought it'd be goofy because Cavill is fucking hollow sometimes, but he is excellent. He is Geralt. It's fantastic. So, all right, man. There's 30 minutes of bullshit for you on the Star Wars Time show. That's kind of become the new thing, but I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I know when I listen to radio shows, I kind of favor sometimes when they just talk about life, and it's just kind of white noise for me to listen to in the background.
Yeah, give us some feedback if you think that we're going too long on this segment, or if you
fuck these people. We can't trust these motherfuckers with feedback. We asked for feedback last week, show suggestions, and all we got basically was give us more shit for free. So I'm not taking your feedback. If I want to come on here and talk about how I like to stick my thumb up my ass and then rotate on it, that's what we're gonna do. All right. All right, dude, let's get into the Star Wars stuff, though, for real, because I can see through our analytics we've basically just killed the stream. There was people listening, and then it just cratered right there. So here we go. Yes, our fans are the fans of free shit. Up first, we like to start with our collectible stuff. I mean, that's kind of our thing. I'm a huge collector. Nick is not, so he just sits here and listens to it and just waits until we move on to non-collecting stuff. But at least he's a good sport. He's here for the fun. He's here to talk toys and wasting money on them. Speaking of toys, I'll probably, if I remember or someone remind me, because I've also said this on the show before, for these 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, while we're vamping and talking, I really don't know what I'm saying. Like, shit just comes out and I pretty much forget everything at the end of the show. You can ask Nick. There's many weeks where a few hours on Tuesday, be like, hey, dude, did I do all right? Was I an asshole? Did I fuck something up? Did I offend somebody? So you got to remind me when I promise stuff on the show and then I never come through in real life. But those of you that collect, you probably display your figures in some form or fashion. Some of you are box idiots. Other people's are out of box. Some people buy I don't even know how to say it, like the dotted shelves, the glass four shelf things. So I have some of those shelves. I bought 2 shelves, Christmas 2019. Have done nothing with them until last week. Finally decided to set the fucking things up, reorganize everything, all my shelves, so now they're behind my couch. You know, who cares? It was fucking with my field of view, playing games and watching movies. I'm a video file, audio file, so I had to move the shelves behind the couch. That was done, but to do so, I had to meticulously take off every fucking figure that I had on the shelves. And I'm one of these dumbasses that decides to display 1/12 scale figures in these shelves. And anyone that's just tried to stand up a fucking plastic figure knows it doesn't always work out in your favor. In fact, 90% of the time, these little cocksuckers are falling over, knocking other little cocksuckers over to the point where you get action figure dominoes. We've seen it during shoots. I've stabbed tables. I've smashed figure faces over it. So I made the decision, hey, I'm going to try to stand up 36 1/12 scale action figures on each shelf row, right?
Why would you do that?
So 6 across, Nick, 6 deep. Ask me how many times one shelf fell over before it was completed.
How many?
Too many! Too fucking many, dude. I think it fell down 3 times. 3 times. Like one guy in the background, you know, Kylo Ren's back there fucking jerking himself off and falls over and knocks over Vader, who knocks over Palpatine, who knocks over Sidious, and then they're falling out. And then when they fall out, they hit the next shelf and start another chain reaction of fucking figures dominoes.
Oof.
So, this is a public service announcement. If you are going to display your 1/12 scale figures, only do so if you're smart enough to use figure stands. You can get them real cheap if you have a 3D printer. I've got a buddy right now printing me up hundreds of them after this weekend. It's going to save you a possible stroke, a future aneurysm, issues with your heart when you're older, blood pressure problems. But take it from me, don't display 1/12 scale figures unless they're on a stand.
Okay.
I know some of them are beautiful. Even some of these little $20 fuckers are now display worthy, in my opinion. Hasbro has really made some of these faces worth wanting to put on a shelf. But the mental anguish of lighting them up without them knocking each other over, or even opening the damn door after you set them all up to put a new figure in, is not worth it. I can't even walk behind my couch now, Nick, because I'm scared the vibrations will be enough to get Kylo's dumbass to fall over again and knock over the whole fucking dark side shelf. And
You're
yes,
probably better to not walk behind there.
My shelves are themed. I've got a trooper shelf, a dark side shelf, a light side shelf. I've got fucking Mesco shelves, Hot Toy shelves, mix shelves, basically a pop culture et al. Shelf.
There you go.
Here we go. I'm getting lots of good advice in here.
Building the museum. Building the SWTS
I'm not going to lie, Nick. Like, For a 40-year-old man to be displaying this stuff in his home, some might find it odd. I like it. They're like little pieces of art to me. Yeah. I spent thousands of dollars on these fucking things. So rather than have them laying in big piles of plastic of carnage on the floor or on my to shoot table, I'm like, I want to display these fucking things. But displaying them the way I decided to do it is moronic. The amount of figures I'm trying to cram in there, because I'm not like some of you guys. I mean, I've seen some of you with these shelves. You'll put 1 or 2 Hot Toys per shelf. Fuck that. Fuck that. The goddamn figures already cost almost $300. The shelves are about $60 a pop. Then you got to put lighting in it. I'm not going to have fucking 800 shelves in here to display my Hot Toys. So I do 6 Hot Toys per shelf, 36 1/12 scale per shelf. Yes, the math's all done. It works. But when you do it that way, Nick, you create the domino scenario, and it's a living nightmare. So
it's probably just the worst feeling ever when they domino down in the middle of you putting them up.
Yeah, here we go. Like, look, there's some people in chat. Bossajan's one. I probably have to stand them up at least once a week. So I'm not the only asshole that gets into this practice of fixing figure displays. I'm just telling you right now, maybe scale back your displays, or like I said, look for cheap little figure stands. We have some suggestions here in the chat, such as Blue Tack. I guess 3M makes some, so hit it up. But man, the fucking stress. And now, like when the cats go down, they're edges, right? So what do cats want to do on an edge? They want to rub their fucking face on it.
Yep.
So now as soon as they start walking behind the couch, I'm basically doing off the rope fucking Jimmy Snuka flying elbows to take them out, pulling on their tails, tweaking their titties. It's just a nightmare. But that's pretty much how I like to live my life. I like to do stuff that it could possibly give me a stroke.
Oh shit. Well, with these new figures, these new Lego figures, you don't really have to worry about setting them up too much, because
they fucking stand
up.
They
stick to the floor that they stand on.
Thank you. Built-in figure stands with the Legos. And sorry, we've been all over the place. We'll make these topics quick, at least these little ones here. But as Nick was saying, we're getting a new Target exclusive. I'm sure fans love that. We love when it's retailer specific, especially the international audience, because they typically don't get a comparable release in their home territory. But we are getting again, it's ESB 40th, so we're going to get a Lego Star Wars Bespin Duel set, which recreates the iconic moment when Daddy Skywalker says to son Skywalker, "I am your father." Yes. It's a 295 piece set, retailing for $40, a little pricey, but we've gotten used to Lego kind of shafting us on the Star Wars license. And as I said, it will be a Target exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's a cool little setup. For those of you like Tong Wars or 03 or any of our Lego photographers out there, I'm sure you could have fun with this set out there. Looks nice. Looks nice.
So, as a Lego collector, I mean, outside of the nostalgia fact, I mean, it's got a nice little base. I'll pull up another image here on the live stream, but it's got a nice little base with a 40th placard to put on it. I mean, it's a nice little display piece. The Vader might be worth getting because it looks like he actually has like his full suit going down his arms. Nick, you might be going, well, that's kind of fucking weird. Why would you even notice that? Well, that's what us collectors do. Vader typically has all black arms, so it might be worth getting for that minifigure, but it is a Target exclusive. It goes live on the 27th, so depending on when you're listening to this, it's probably already sold out.
Thursday.
It'll probably be sold out by the time you remember on Thursday. But at least we told you about it. It's there for you. We've got the links for you on StarWarsTime.net.
Hit it up. Another toy reveal here, Hasbro Vintage Collection. Yeah. You get the Tantive 4, and they also revealed a Hondo.
Dude, there's a ton of shit here. And I mean, I always try to bring you the toy scenes reaction to this, because I mean, you as a fan, you're just a casual Star Wars guy. You're probably like, oh, this is nice for collectors. Look at that. You got a 375 scale Tantive 4 hallway set. You can essentially remake opening scenes from A New Hope with the small scale figures. That's fucking rad. Yep. They're doing these saga collections in small scale. That's rad. But let me tell you the real reception. So
they hated it.
Yeah, the real reception was like, what the fuck, Hasbro? Like, where are the Black Series announcements? The only Black Series you gave us were a Walgreens, Nick, not Walmart, a Walgreens exclusive Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant.
I see that.
Okay,
yes.
Walgreens exclusive. Any collector, when you hear a Walgreens exclusive, probably gets PTSD, because that's basically, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it unless you live in like bumfuck Alabama, where, you know, people don't buy this type of shit. And you're just not going to get it because they probably won't do an online release. It says they're going to do pre-orders at Walgreens beginning September 15th. I'll see. I'm not holding my breath, essentially. Lots of bad memories with Walgreens exclusives during my Pop days. It's a shit show. Even more so than the Walmart stuff and the Target stuff. And then the other Black Series we got that was figure-based, what'd I do with them?
Gaming Greats.
Yeah, another fucking Gaming Greats. And it's the same Purge Trooper that's already released, except they gave him a new accessory, basically.
Okay.
And because it's a gaming grate, you know what that means, Nick? You pay an extra $5, and then you have to get it through GameStop, which means you spend an extra $10 in shipping. So you're basically spending almost the same price for a Black Series figure just to pay for the honor of ordering it through GameStop here in the States. That's
so ridiculous. Now, as a non-collector, Matt, can you pick out the one thing that has caught my eye here? Because we have a ton. We have a ton of reveals that you have.
I know what you were probably looking at. You're probably looking at Palpy's blade, right?
That is right. The EP, the Emperor Palpatine blade from ROTS, is the one that caught my eye, because I already have. Now, I know that some people already have received somehow. They're probably, you know, Hasbro members, or they're, you know, sponsored. But some people already have their Revan color changing lightsaber that was revealed a long time ago. That's coming out next month.
Right?
I did pre-order it. Now,
who did you get it through?
I hope that I can get my address changed in, because I pre-ordered this when I was still at my apartment, and I didn't know my address yet.
What retailer did you use?
Amazon. But right now, like I go on and it won't let me edit my address, my delivery address, until it ships, which is fucking stupid.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I have to now wait until my shipping information is given to me and then go in and change it.
Dude, Amazon is ridiculous. I just got a bed truck cover shipped to me for free in 2 days.
That's pretty
$1,000 item that required 2 people to drop it off at my door. Showed up in 2 days, no cost.
That's insane. But this one, I mean, like this may be something, if this is going to be a regular release thing for Hasbro now, like these, you know, Force Effects.
This is your thing, huh? You're going to be a Black Series collector after all, because this is, Nick, these are part of the Black Series line. Yeah,
but they're also very expensive. So this EP blade's $225, available for pre-order now. Hasbro Pulse, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, Big Bad Toy Store. But like, I mean, this is the kind of shit that I like props, or right. you know, set use things.
Of course,
and stuff
I mean,
like
I would Star Wars collectors. You're either going to get kind of the figure centric like myself, or the prop and memorabilia people.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, I know, because I am a member of this, you know, this lightsaber collecting group on Facebook, that the stuff that Hasbro puts out is not of the highest quality. You know, if you want an Emperor Palpatine blade and you want to go to one of these elite level fabricators, it's going to cost you $400, $500, $600 maybe. And that's sometimes without a blade, without electronics that actually give you the sound and stuff. And they're typically built to scale perfectly. So like these blades that you get from Hasbro are typically a little bit bigger than scale. The electronics aren't great and the blades are small, but like I don't have the money to spend $600 on a expertly fabricated blade from, the lightsaber forum or someplace like that. So, but I mean, this did stand out to me. I may pick it up later after my Revan one comes in.
What do you think his hilt says about him? I mean, he's
an opulent motherfucker.
Hell yeah, it is. I mean, you look at this and you almost wonder why Palpatine wasn't the dude wearing those golden yellow robes like Snoke, right? I mean, this to me would work with Snoke too. I mean, I guess they're essentially the same character after all, but yeah, I mean, this is like the 1%ers lightsaber, right? I mean, this is what the 10 rich people in the world would be using for their lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's gold. It's got, very intricate. I don't want to say intricate design, but it has like a very sleek design style. I'm going to say
it's got a little bit of a feminine design to it. I mean, I could see this being a Star Wars dildo.
Yeah, kind of. If you just reshape the emitter. Yeah,
the emitter bit. You'd want to soften it out a bit, make it a little more mushroom capped. But I mean, I could, if I was a female, I could see using this thing for some pleasure.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It definitely does say that Palpatine was a little bit, opulent, a little bit maybe.
Do you see how little it is too? Do you think the hilt was so short so he could always keep it stored up his sleeve like we saw him, I am the Senate, that type of shit?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is, this probably wasn't his first lightsaber blade. Like this wasn't the lightsaber that he was using when he was training under Plagueis or anything like that. This is probably something he built when he became the Lord of the Sith, the one only Sith left, and he had to conceal it a little bit. So if you've seen, the typical hilts, they're a little bit longer, harder to hide. They have to hang off of your belt. To keep it up the sleeve would definitely need to be a little bit more compact.
Do you think this is even shorter than Ahsoka's whatever fuck one you call it?
The Chateau blade?
Yeah.
It's probably similar in size, I would imagine, of a Chateau blade. It's probably a little bit bigger than Yoda's. Yoda's is probably only, 3/4 the size, half the size.
It also, I mean, just the way it's built, it's almost like it's meant to be one hand only, too. I mean, this isn't something you'd really be doing overhand strikes with. I mean, I don't even know if you could get two solid hands wrapped around there, so...
Yeah, you would have to have small hands to get two around there. And again, like I don't have the hilt here, so I can't show you the physical grip of it. If I do get it, I'll try to bring it on the show and show you guys like how it holds and what it looks like in a hand in terms of size. But
I'm not a huge fan of like the sexy looking sabers, like a Mace Windu. I said it before. I don't like the gold inlays in sabers, but for some reason this one. It's visually appealing, and like I said, it really. Anytime I look at it, all I see is sex toy.
Yeah, it's weird too because if you look at down on the saber grip, this like pearlescent kind of like I don't even know what color to call it. Like like the inlay on like the silver around it, it's like almost like a pearlescent type of bronzish color, like almost like a skin. That's actually not what it looks like. Like Sidious's blade. Does not have that like pearlescent look to it. That's just something that design wise Hasbro chose to go with that blade. So they did make some changes to coloring, some changes to the design itself. But
I looked all right. Buy it. You don't need money. Don't eat.
Yeah, just
order it up.
Pre-order it now. I may get it later. I want to wait until my Revan blade comes in and see how like the quality of it. Because one thing that I will say is that the Disney Parks Kylo Ren saber is of really good quality. Like it's solid metal. Sometimes you'll get these like Force Effects blades and they're plastic and they're garbage. So I want to see what the quality's like on the Revan one first before I order any more from this line. Because if it's $225 and it's not a full metal chassis, then I don't want to waste my money on it. But it looks cool.
Nice. So I mean, that was there. Like I said, we only got 2 traditional Black Series figure in the Purgy boy. and the Phase 1 clone. I'm not going to lie, like this Tanty 4 Dio set for the 375 people is fucking amazing. I mean, I saw Star Wars The Black Series on IG lamenting the fact that, like, Hasbro, why do you never make 6-inch scale Dios like this? I mean, logistically, it'd probably be a pain in the ass to ship this thing. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, at the 118 scale, you could jam it into one box and get it on a store shelf. At 112 scale, I mean, that box would be like the size of my house.
Yeah, it would be huge.
So, I mean, there's some of that, but people would buy it.
Yeah, because this just can't really use production cost or anything like that, because people will spend
and
the money.
This thing just looks amazing. I mean, you got so many configurations you can do on the Tanty 4. You could do the Princess Leia hallway with R2. You could do the Vader coming through the door.
Yep.
You get the 3 figures. It's just, and for $50. I mean, yes, they are the little guys. They're like my penis size, 3 inches. They're not quite as posable, but I mean, really, even the sculpt on the 375 line is getting ridiculous these days. Ridiculously good is what I mean. Mm-hmm. It'd be nice, because at the scale, most of us toy photographers out there, most of us are doing 112, 1.6. 1.6, good luck getting props that are not going to cost you the same as buying a vehicle. But it's mostly third-party people make this shit. I mean, there's a whole outfit called Space Walls that just 3D prints Death Star wall panels. You know what I mean? Just because, so we can use it for diorama purposes. Yeah,
I feel like that's the way to go now. Like, if you want to get into, like, Dio building and stuff like that, just buy yourself a 3D printer.
I mean, that's where our buddy went. I mean, one of our first fans, I mean, we called him a goat at this point in time. He's disappeared, but everything Kylo, all he does now is work on Dios to sell.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars. Hey. He's been working on like the Mandalorian, whatever, the bunker that he raids in episode 3. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I've seen.
We miss Jesse. He doesn't even shoot toys anymore. He just works on that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, he's found a new passion.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess I definitely don't have the vision or patience to make dios. Spencer saw the extent of my dio making. It was literally me murdering my leftover blocks from that ubiquitous set. Did I talk about? I talked about this, I think.
Yeah.
Where I took perfectly good dio blocks and used a knife and stamped out the middle so light could leak through, and I could put the grating on top to try to get some light leaking looks. That's about as far as I go on the dio stuff. The other thing here, I think these saga collections are just straight kitty cash grabs. I mean, I wouldn't even say the figures look that great. They've got like that big foldable cock joint, where they just bend at the waist.
Yeah.
But you got the Jedi, you got the Sith, you got the First Order, you just got straight up the Empire, you got the Rebellion, you got the Galactic Republic. So they're hitting the 3 ages that the Skywalker saga spanned.
Yep. And you got a Bounty Hunters collection.
You got to throw the Bounty Hunters in there. So all this stuff is up there. We got the links for you. The links are all working at this point. When I put them up there, they did not work. But now they do. So if you want to waste your money on this stuff, have at it. But like I said, the big outcry was not enough 112 scale reveals during this event. Not enough 112 dioramas straight from Hasbro. And of course, just the exclusive retailer bullshit. And as Joe brought up in the chat here, they're also releasing like gaming great style Hondo Unaka and the Mountain Trooper, which you could only originally get from Galaxy's Edge in the park. Mm-hmm. Yep, they're going to do a 3 a.m. a 3 a.m. Target pre-order release for those two.
That's so fucking crazy.
Yay!
3 a.m.
Well, 3 a.m. East. So, I mean, it's the bullshit. Hey, midnight Pacific. It's the next day everywhere. So here we go. It's just odd. Oh, well, we lamented that fact. I don't get exclusives. I don't get timed releases. I mean, if you're Hasbro and you want to make money, just fucking sell the product. NECA, just sell the product. Pre-order, we will buy it.
Okay. And it was a big drop, but like you said, a lot of people were probably looking for more 112 scale. people out there who are shooting 375 probably feel pretty happy right now. Kingdom of Weird and some of our other 3.75 inch figure shooters.
I would be jacked. I mean, the Tantive 4 playset, like I said, I mean, it's godly. It's beautiful. It's odd to say about just plastic structure, but as someone that likes to dabble in this and maybe not do the best at it, but, every once in a while shoot some toys, it really helps to have these practical dioramas. I mean, the Digirami stuff is Digirama stuff is fantastic, especially if you layer in some practical elements around your figure. But there really is nothing better than having a tangible set, if you will, behind your subjects, because we're all directors in the end.
Yeah, everybody wants to shoot their scene and tell their story.
Exactly.
So,
well, I never tell a story. I just fucking have a static dude sitting there, and you can figure out whatever you want. I have succumbed to the motherfucking real shit on my personal account, Nick. It's like that's all you see now. I mean, a lot of people just port their shit over from TikTok, so it's not even cropped right. You can't even see half the fucking videos. But I'm doing it right on Reels because I'm not getting involved in TikTok. And mine are terrible. I don't plan for them. I just use existing video and just blast a song over top of it. And I feel dirty doing it because I was like, I don't like this. I don't like now that if you're toy photography, you got to do your behind the scenes in a Reels. I just like dropping it. But I got more views on my behind the scenes Reels of Carbo Vader than just my standard BTS post for Carbo Vader. So you got to succumb to the man, right? The IG algo.
Yeah.
We worship you.
There you go. We got views on our merchandise reel as well, but nobody bought anything.
Yeah, our reel. I mean, honestly, I try to do a reel a day now on Star Wars Time Show just to recap that day's features, and they cap out at most 2,000 views. So they're not getting out anywhere and to explore. No one's finding them unless they already follow us. So, like most things I do for Star Wars Time, I think this is just another life suck.
Well, I mean, one more life suck coming up for you pretty soon is going to be Star Wars Squadrons, and then
hopefully.
Yeah, that's our next piece of news here. And for those of you who follow the gaming community, who follow the gaming circuit, you know that Gamescom is coming up, which is typically the biggest, outside of E3, which is the American conference. Gamescom is the conference that happens in Germany. In terms of just pure attendance, Gamescom kills it because they let everybody fucking in. E3 was still media only, this, that, and the other, that bullshit. But and I feel like this is way late for Gamescom, but Gamescom's typically in August. So
I thought it was like late July. Who the fuck knows anymore? I always thought Tokyo Game Show was kicking off towards the end of August, September, but
maybe. Yeah.
I've been out of that gaming media now for almost a full year, and it's all fading away from the gray matter. But we are, thanks to Jeff Keighley, some lucky dork who literally has built his entire life talking about video games and getting paid handsomely for it. Yes, I'm just hating. It's another guy I'm just hating on. But he tweeted out that they are going to do an opening night for Gamescom. They'll be live streaming it, openingnightlive.com. And as a part of this opening night live experience, Keighley is confirming that Squadrons will be presenting a brand new premiere, a new look at what? I don't know. Is it going to be gameplay, campaign centric? Who knows? I mean, at this point, Nick, I feel like what the fuck else could they really show us to get us any more excited or less excited, I guess?
I feel like multiplayer, you can't really show too much with it. Like the screens that we've seen and the video that we've seen from PC Gamer and all the other sites that put out the early access videos from it kind of showed off the multiplayer enough. Like, what else can you see? It's like, here's this ship flying. Here's this ship flying. Are you going to show like gameplay from all the different types of ships? I'm more interested in the campaign mode, but also knowing that it's probably going to be short, you can't really do a long period of time for Star Wars Squadrons campaign without spoiling something or without giving up too much of how this game plays out. So, I mean, definitely excited to see what they show. But also, I mean, like they say, world premiere new look. It could literally be the same shit that we've already seen. It's like, oh, look, it's the world premiere of this particular video. It's like, I feel like I have enough info on this game already.
Well, that's what I was getting at, because they let influencers and whatnot. I mean, they had a multiplayer beta preview maybe a month ago where you got a lot of. That was a kind of. I had to fake that one a little bit, Tone. Sorry, it was just a little bit came out, and I tried to enhance it at the end. It didn't quite work out, but we've gotten plenty of looks at the multiplayer. A little tease of the campaign. I'm leaning towards they may focus more on the campaign.
Yeah,
maybe get a little more story or a little more of the narrative out there.
Yeah, I think that would be the best thing to do now, because, I mean, the multiplayer is what it is. There's literally no more you can milk out of that. Like, we know what it is. We've seen what it is. Like, seeing how the single player plays out at least a little bit. Like, give us a little bit of the Empire side, give us a little bit of the Rebellion side, and then just leave it as is.
Yeah, because if I'm in marketing, if I'm trying to drive sales of squadrons, at this point, the nuts are already committed, right? People like you, me, Tones has already said he's in. We're going to get it whether they show us something or not at Gamescom. So I feel like if you're going to pay Keighley to do this special promo of just this, I mean, it's literally Keighley, and we're going to talk about this next, but he already put out some stuff. Like, there's going to be 38 other games, 2 hours long. He is specifically highlighting EA Star Wars Squadrons as being a part of this and seeing something new. So I think it's got to be something like a last ditch for, let's try to get maybe casual, non-Star Wars, those type of people into the fold here.
Here's, if you were a good marketer and you wanted to spend money on this, here's what you do. It's the easiest way to get a large number of people watching gameplay of this and get people interested in the game off the bat is you do a show match. This is a multiplayer focused experience, 5v5 style. You get big streamers, you pay them whatever you need to pay them. You get, I mean, you probably can't get Ninja or something like that, but you get bigger streamers like Boy, who's a League of Legends streamer. You get, fucking
dude, I'm
Tim
impressed.
The Catman or
I'm
whoever.
Impressed you even know about that scene, because I'll tell you right now, as a 40-year-old, someone that's gamed my whole life, the whole streamer influencing shit that just went right over my head. I could never give a shit. It's probably because I was trying to do something similar. 30 is when I started Entertainment Buddha, and that was a late kind of foray into the scene. But even in 2010, streaming wasn't really a thing.
Yeah,
you had the YouTube stuff like the Angry Gamer and PewDieFuck and those idiots.
Yep.
But watching people literally just play games and sometimes say stupid racist shit really didn't become a thing until later on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I get it's everything. Like, it is gaming now. There is no reason to even have traditional gaming media anymore. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
because all the money, like the demographics, the money people care about, they're the ones spending hours and hours watching other people fucking play Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the hype. That's the way you do it. But in a 2-hour presentation, you don't have enough time to do a show match, I would imagine.
Yeah,
because you can't put a finite number of time.
It's just amount of time. I'm at an odd place in my gaming life when it comes to reveals and shit. Because I can tell you right now, when Microsoft did their Xbox Series X thing. Mm-hmm. And the whole first hour was just bringing in some of the bigger influencers and having them kind of fake talk about, oh, I love Halo. I was one when it first came out and this shit. I was just like, I don't fucking care. I don't give a fuck if Ninja likes Halo. I just don't give a fuck. I've never been a human that gave a fuck about what famous people tell me to do.
Yeah.
I want you people to give a fuck what I say, but fuck no, I'm never going to, listen to someone else.
I think that the good thing with a show match is two things. The way that I would do it, and me as a marketing professional, I would have 5 Twitch streamer / influencers on a team versus 5 developers, like 5 people who built the game. And then what you can see is, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't want them talking about how the game is great, whatever. Like, you get to see, like, these people who are good at games playing the people who built the games, and then along that, like in that game, you get to see like the developers are going to be winning up front, but then you get to see the other people get better,
right? And they start learning the system. It's like you're watching people realize how fun the game can be, right? That's what these events can do.
Yeah,
and maybe also, that'll get you like, ooh, I could be doing that with Nick and some of these assholes that listen to the show.
Exactly. And then also, I mean, this game will never be an esport because it's just like people who think that this is going to turn into an esport, it's a dream. Don't even think that that's going to happen. Like, but if you have somebody who's like casting the game, then you get that experience too. You get to say like, you know, you get to call out specific things, like have one of the developers sitting back there and saying like, look, you know, this guy, he's one of our developers. He was a level designer. He's, you know, getting ready to swoop in for something like this, and let's see if the other team can counter him.
Okay, you've almost sold me on this show match concept, which I never even knew was a thing. So see, young Nick does he brings some new information to the show, to us elder statesmen of geekdom.
You know, that's the way
that would be much better than just having their dumb asses and their blue hair get up there and be like, oh yeah, I like playing games. Games are fun. Bleh. It's like no shit.
That's not the way to do it. Like you need to build hype for what you're selling.
Yeah, he is a marketing master. Hire the man. Lucasfilm, hire the man. Then we'll finally have our fucking source.
Yeah, so there we go.
The other piece here, though, and this is for a Star Wars game that literally has just disappeared since E3 2019, maybe? Yeah, E3 2019, I think.
We heard, like, we had a box art reveal for it.
Yeah, ooh.
That was the last thing.
You can always get a lot about a game based on its box art. But in a follow-up here, and kind of the science behind this tweet is that this Jack Chapman retweeted another Keeley tweet just announcing opening night live on Thursday. There's going to be 38 games, 18 publishers, about 2-hour runtime. Jack Chapman retweeted, and you're saying, who the fuck is Jack Chapman? Well, he is a level director or the level director of Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, a title that literally we haven't seen a trailer in over a year. Not
June
much
10th,
talked about.
That's the last one. So.
It is 2018?
2019.
Okay, 2019. So prepare to see some action on that too. You would have to think, unless Jack is just angry that their game has been left out of another video game event to be revealed at, and he's just making a point to his bosses like, hey, you fucking idiots, here was another opportunity to get our game in front of some people that might not have bought it before. But I think we're going to see some Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, finally this Thursday at this Gamescom opening night.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope that we get something like this because, you know, even if it is, I mean, you figure if it's going to be in the 2-hour expected runtime with 38 other games, each game gets less than 2 minutes.
Right.
Like just break down that in your head.
It'll be similar to Sony's most recent game event where it's just nonstop fucking trailer.
Boom.
No bullshit.
You have nobody up there talking because you don't have time to talk.
Thank you.
You got a minute and 20 seconds. Show me what you got in a minute and 20 seconds, and then we're on to the next.
I'm telling you, this thing Thursdays, you're going to want to stab your eyes out because anytime Geoff is involved, it gets into the real talky stuff. Like blah, 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 blah. Here's the game. Okay, yay.
That's what Jeff is known for.
Well, I mean, he's the one that hosted the Microsoft thing I'm talking about. I mean, he spent the first, the cocktail hour with the influencers like, hey guys, what do you think we're going to see? Do you think we're going to get some Halo? And they're all like, oh, Halo. I was in my mom's womb when it came out, but as soon as she shot me out her pussy, I loved it. I've been playing it my whole life. I am a Spartan. It's like, oh my God.
I think that's like, he's another old style, you know, gamer where that's all you got. Like, that's what you wanted to see at the time was like, talk to me about why you like games. Because at that point in time, we were still trying to, like, we as gamers were still trying to convince the greater public that, like, you know, there is a reason that games are as popular as they are. There is a reason that games should be mainstream. But like now we're past that. Like people have accepted that games.
There are famous gamers.
Yeah,
like multi-millionaire gamers.
Like Microsoft paid Ninja, I think
40.
I don't think this is an exaggeration, $40 million.
And it didn't even last a year. And you know he didn't have to give any of that money back just because Mixer fucking failed.
Yeah, so like these, like it is, society already has recognized that gaming is huge.
Because back in the day, I mean, you know, Nick, we're not that far apart. I liked hearing from the developers talk about their game, the motivations for the game, why they made the gameplay do this, why they made it do that. I used to like when even developer personalities would get up there like Cliffy B and kind of make a spectacle out of the shit. But you're right. It is 100%. It's just it's shifted in the audience now. It's like the morons like, oh, if an actor says this, then I'm going for it. You know, it's the same thing. It's just they're getting the stamp of approval by someone that they think is a demigod. Therefore, it's good for you. Let's buy it. Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, we get some good gameplay. You know, they're not going to do it the way that I want them to do it because it would cost them too much money and it would take too much time. But still excited to see what comes out of both of these games. Hopefully, you know, Squadrons does give us a little bit more in the campaign, and hopefully we get anything from Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
I'll be getting both of these. I might try to get them for free from my Sony buddy. Guy still owes me a PGA Tour 2K21 code.
There we go. So
yeah, I might try to slide these on the free, but I would buy them either way. Definitely Squadrons, Lego. I'm going to try that out with the little one and see if we can get through that without Daddy wanting to bop her on the head because she keeps walking into the wall.
Yeah.
All right. It's funny. It's like ever since we did that one time, she's always like, anytime I'm like, hey, I'm going to go game. She's like, oh, can we play? Can I play too? I'm like, Ghost of Tsushima probably isn't the best game for you.
Yeah, it's like there's too much blood.
She saw it. Like she came down and sometimes she sneaks down like a ninja. I didn't know she was standing there watching. And she comes up. She's like, Daddy, why does he keep hitting them and all that mud is shooting out? I was like, you know, his sword's dirty. See, it's raining out. She's like, it looks like blood. I'm like, no, it's mud. He's just smacking them because they're dirty. He's trying to get them clean. As like an arm falls off and people are like, yeah. Hey there, we got Devin Super Scoundrel just joined the live stream. What is up?
Devin's here for
I think he made the top 5. That's why he got in on time this week.
Yeah, we have some good top 5.
All right, man. So yeah, Thursday, you gamers out there, make sure to be tuned into openingnightlive.com, 2 p.m. East, 8 p.m. Cest, 11 a.m. You're going to see some Squadrons. And I'm going to say right here, this will be our fortune telling. You're going to see some Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Yep.
Speaking of fortune telling, Nick, how great were all these dumb fucks with this trailer last week?
They really tried to panic and pull that shit back last minute.
Okay,
right?
So just real quickly, you know, last week we talked about how ridiculous some of the leaking is getting on Reddit from Kessel Run Transmissions and all these people. The big news last week is, definitely going to get the Mando S2 trailer during the NBA Thursday. It's going down. So we're all like, all right, we'll check it out. Thursday night, game's going, nothing. So once I saw nothing was coming through, I was like, all right, I'm going to go check out No Outlaw on Twitter and see what he's saying. Because he's the one like, hey, it's fucking happening, this, that, and the other thing. His buddy Corey saying things fucking happening. So I'm looking, and there's like, it all starts. The backtracking, the spinning, the masterful spinning starts. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Trailer was going to happen up to the last minute, and then NBA did something. It's the NBA. NBA did it. Lucasfilm, it was going down. NBA did it. And then the next day, back on the Reddit, same shit. Corey, his partner, doubles down. Like, hey, we had it on good faith. It was happening. Don't blame us. NBA changed it last minute. It was probably for the DC fandom stuff over the weekend. That's why they did it. That's the new spin now. But I showed Nick on Friday, like the subreddit we go to sometimes to look for topics. And it was like 3 or 4 submissions of these leakers on the trailer, this, that, and everything, with their mea culpas, with their backtracking, and some of them, like Noah in particular, started attacking Lucasfilm. Like the angry ass troll Star Wars fans out there, that one that he says he is not. He's like, hey, I don't know, I don't get their marketing sometimes. It's blah, 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 blah. You could tell he was salty that he got egg on his face. Dude,
it's like if I was the source for one of these leakers, I would just fuck with them sometimes like that. To be like, yeah, dude, don't trust me. It's coming out.
I don't know how far you dive into this shit, but I sent Nick a thread in particular because the comments they finally were starting to talk about these leakers like Nick and I talk about them. I think one even said that the fortune teller style leaking. But they went on there like, hey, guys, and they're kind of like talking to KRT, like, guys, we liked you. You hit on the Bad Batch, but now you're just, it's looking bad. Like you're trying to get it on every leak, and you're backtracking, you're talking shit. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yes, I am that low. I'm that catty. But I just want people to understand, like Nick and I, we don't just get up here on our soapboxes and talk shit about these people to talk shit. We're doing it. There's some basis to our shit talking. There's some reality here. I mean, hell, I was on the subreddit today, and they're still trying to justify the fact that the fucking trailer didn't debut at the NBA playoffs. I mean, they're like, oh, this guy from Slash Film said he heard it was going to happen too. So it's like these community, as I said, they get on the subreddit, and it's like I feel like they just pay Redditors to get up there and post their stuff and then start a comment chain. And some get on there and call it for what it is. Others get on there and defend it. And it's become my own form of entertainment at this point in time.
I mean, it's one of the things where it's like, yes, you could have easily said like, oh, 21st, 22nd, it's going to come out, because as fortune tellers do, what makes the most sense? Does this make sense for a trailer drop? Yeah, it does. But don't say like we have it on good authority when you probably didn't.
Right. Like, so there's some comments like maybe these guys should just post in Star Wars speculations. And I see Devin, he must be a ding dong like me. He likes to go to the Star Wars League subreddit and read the comments, but he saw them getting dragged. So it just made me feel good. I mean, I'm a terrible person. I like when other people kind of get egg on their face. That's how I am. Especially when it comes to the Star Wars fan podcasting and live streaming community. And in the end, we'll always be less popular than those two bozos, but at least now people know they're mostly bozos. And that's all I care about. So thank you.
There we go.
And one quick thing on the gaming before we leave, Nick. Tones brought it up and I forgot myself, but Vader Immortal, the VR Vader game, is now available today for PSVR, all 3 missions, episodes, whatever you call it. And he was saying it's £21.99. So over here, I think that means it's free.
Yeah, I don't know how that conversion works.
I think their money's still worth more than ours at this point. I can't remember, but either way, if it's £21.99, it's going to be something like that over here. I'm saying $20 over here, or 30. Who knows? That's something I'd like to dabble in, but I got to finish Ghost. Got to do it. Got to do it. No more video game ADD. Stick on one game, Nick. Or you have so many little pokers going in your gaming fire right now. You don't know what to do.
I do. It's not healthy. You can't do that. If you're gonna game, if you're gonna try to be a completionist, you can't focus on. You have to focus on one game, and that's it. So
we're getting some questions in the chat about Celebration. Celebration is gone. They're doing nothing for it. No, they're not doing anything next year for it because that's going to be a big D23 event. So no, there's nothing as of August 25th from the Star Wars Time Show Dude 1 and Dude 2. There is nothing planned online for Celebration, and nothing planned to further celebrate ESB's 40th outside of making us rebuy the same figures over and over again in different packages.
Yeah, the last thing we posted about Celebration 2020 was the official cancellation notice that was on June 15th. And there, like Matt mentioned, there is no 2021 Celebration. There will be a 2022 Celebration. So if you were one of the ones, I think Devin or I don't know if it was you or if it was Jesse that was planning on going to 2020 Celebration. You can transfer your tickets over to 2022, so you don't need to repurchase 2022 tickets if you already have 2020. You can get a full refund, or you can use your 2020 tickets as credit for 2022 Celebration merchandise.
What the fuck is that? Read pop, those dickheads.
So that's your options for if you were a 2020 Celebration purchaser.
Yeah, we're fucked because we never had 2020 tickets because we knew we were killing our media badge by terminating entertainmentbuddha.com.
Yeah, so we were,
and the whole Anaheim scene is like, especially after Chicago.
Yeah, and so I think right now 2022 is still planned to be in Anaheim, so they're going to keep the location.
I hate that location. I mean, outside of the West Coasters, I think it's a nightmare for anyone else in the country. Yeah,
I mean, that's, Taylor, because, if we were going to go, we were going to try to do the same thing like we did last time. Matt goes with his family. I would bring Taylor. Taylor and Heather could hang out a little bit, and then Matt and I can do our Star Wars thing. But even Taylor was like, I'm not really interested in Anaheim. Like, right. What is there?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Chicago, great city to tool around in. I mean, it would have been nicer if it wasn't fucking March or April or whatever, and it was snowing. But yeah, Anaheim's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't even get there easy because I don't believe there's a direct airport. So you
gotta take like a 2-hour car.
Yeah, you're either going to Lax, which is hell on earth, or San Diego, and then you gotta drive 2 hours up. So
yeah. And then the other big thing that dissuaded us from 2020 Celebration was like, we're like, well, what the fuck are we gonna get? Right. Like, what is gonna be the big reveal here? I mean, Mando season 2, Cassian, like we're going to get a bunch of Disney Plus stuff probably, but it's not going to be like the buzz and like the anticipation that was around 2019
exactly.
Celebration.
I think I had celebration fatigue. It was knowing that the movies were going to bed for a while. So I pulled out, but I can tell you right now, I already have FOMO. I'm going to have FOMO for 2022 because I'm either going to be dead, or the show's going to be dead, or Nick and I will be at least talking to more than 2,000 people a month. And we're going to want to be there. And we might even get approved as podcasters to go.
Yeah, I say at that point, like that's kind of one of the challenges that we put out to the fan base was like, see if we can build ourselves up in a way to where we can attend Celebration 2020 on a media badge,
well, 2022. Yeah.
2022.
I would like, badge. I'm talking and there's no way because we're not this good and we don't have the reach, and clearly we're never just going to get organic reach. We got to do all this shit that people have suggested, which is essentially sucking off other Star Wars podcasts and this, that, and the other thing. But I want to get like on the actual podcasting hall, like on the stage.
I think that we would have to look at the stipulations for that because I'm almost positive that you cannot curse if you're up there.
Well, I mean, come on. You got to have a little faith in my potty mouth. I mean, I do teach in a state-funded institution. Yes, I'll drop some shits and some ass every once in a while, but I'm not like saying, fucking foam face or thunder cunts and stuff like that. So
they may vet our content before we go up there.
Yeah. Well, then we'll be fucking blackballed then, because
they'd be like, you're not even allowed on the floor.
Yeah, because I mean, they're like, oh, you hear in episode 125 that guy, the one guy, he was talking about using Sidious's lightsaber as a dildo.
Yeah, so let's not allow these fucking freaks to get on stage and talk to a crowd of people that will likely have children there. So
but I mean that would be fun. I don't think that's ever going to happen unless we literally go above and beyond in trying to pimp ourselves. And Nick has already said that he's fine with what it is, and I'm just like, fuck it all. I should just be that good without having to do anything. So we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place
right now. Is like our next milestone, for us in terms of a following is 10,000 followers on Star Wars Time Show Instagram.
No, fuck that. That's too easy. I think honestly the next legit milestone would be getting monetized on YouTube.
50 reviews on Apple.
Yeah. 50, we need some reviews. We're still stuck at 28 reviews on iTunes, you lazy motherfuckers. I mean, those of you that have been around, you've already done it. I get it. We thank you. But remember, you got to keep gaslighting everyone else in your immediate family and extended family. And that includes your friends and your enemies. We want them all. All right, speaking of someone that might rub people the wrong way, I quite enjoy this young lady, Brie Larson. But as Nick kind of posted up here, she started a YouTube channel. I don't know if she started this during the lockdown or she's been doing this for a while. But as you say, she gets pretty candid on these things, pretty open, and just kind of shoots the shit. And one of her most recent episodes, she revealed that she essentially auditioned for every Disney Star Wars role out there and didn't get a single one. Yeah. So this is before she landed, the big marquee role of Captain Marvel. But kind of the video that she puts out is called Audition Storytime. And not only does she talk about, the Star Wars failures, but she talks about other failures that she's had throughout her career. Didn't get roles in things like The Hunger Games. She tried out for Katniss, didn't get it. She tried out for Tomorrowland, which was that movie with George Clooney, that Disney movie with George Clooney. Didn't get it. Movie. Gossip Girl, didn't get it. So she mentioned that she auditioned for the role of Rey in TFA, did not get it. Jin in Rogue One and Kira in Solo, and didn't get any of them. That's great.
And really, what was interesting to me is like the fact that this girl now, who can literally probably just walk away from an audition, she doesn't need to audition anymore, tried out for these roles that have become, such a mainstay, a big part of the Star Wars, lore and community, that she missed out on them. And what it tells me is that Lucasfilm was locked in on people with a British accent, because Brie is an American. Like, she does not have an accent. She speaks without an accent. You're right,
because Amelia, she's got it right. She's not from here, is she?
Amelia is not born in America, and neither is Felicity Jones. Felicity Jones, and obviously Daisy. Yeah, I mean, they were locked into, we want to have females with British, accents to play these mainstay roles.
So you're saying Brie is such a deficient actress, she couldn't do the accent properly to get any of these roles.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's probably what it was.
Doesn't this lady have an Oscar?
Brie Larson, I think she was at least nominated for one for like The Lovely Bones or something like that, or I don't know.
What's her name has an Oscar?
Jennifer Lawrence?
No.
Ooh, I don't know that.
Jen Erso.
Oh, Felicity Jones.
I'm pretty sure she won one.
Let me look up Brie's IMDb
I'm doing some Googling here on the live stream. We can see it.
One Oscar win. Yeah, you're correct. She won for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role.
God, she's such a little kid, 30 years old, man.
In Room. I've never seen 2015, the movie Room. I've never seen it, nor have I heard of it. So that's good look, regardless of what you think about her character of Captain Marvel, which I Matt had to tell me that males hate her because of that role. I didn't know that. Yeah, isn't that
funny? Like, I would assume some people in this stream right now, maybe Forney's a comic book guy, but there was like a huge negative bullshit reaction to her as Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movie and in Endgame, mostly over the fact that some men took umbrage with the fact that in the scene that guy's like, hey, smile for us, and she doesn't smile. And then there's the fact that her character was talked about by Feige and the likes, that she was almost as powerful as Thanos, right? Like, she was the most powerful MCU character to date. And a lot of people were like, oh, no fucking way.
Like, bro, it's like, but that's the thing is like, Kevin Feige didn't make Captain Marvel like that. The people who wrote Captain Marvel made it that way, like the comic book. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you don't get caught up in just how shitty society is these days, and I'm jealous of you. I've learned what I've become. It's a new saying out there, I guess, in psychology. I am a doom scroller. Have you heard that?
Oh, no.
Doom scrolling. I bet there's doom scrollers listening to the show where basically you spend a good amount of your day scrolling through just the horrors of society. Be it over here, the COVID shit, the fucked up politics stuff. I find myself like just going down rabbit holes of hating life by reading shit that makes me want to hate life.
Like I used to do that, but I've really pulled myself back from it. Like the other week I went through my Facebook and I was like, I'm unfollowing all biased media news outlets that I follow. Now the only news outlets that I follow on any social media is Reuters and AP because
you cut out OANN?
I cut out everything. I cut out OANN. I cut out Huffington Post.
OANN. They literally have people from the Kremlin.
One America News Network. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I never followed that.
They're more fucking nutty than Fox News, but
yeah, no, I basically what I did was I was like, I'm tired of the polarized news shit popping up on my feed. So like I unfollowed George Takei because all he posts now is just like political news bullshit.
I love George. He just did an interview on Stern last week with Brad.
I love him as a person. Love that and
guy. He is way left. I mean, he's definitely one of those super progressive warriors, if you will.
And it's just like I got tired of my social media feeds just being filled with like I hate this person, I hate this person. Like it was all
yeah. So you get it, man. I mean, it's a sickness.
Yeah,
and then just me. I mean, I am, because of my 10 years with EB, I've become trained. I mean, I use Hootsuite to combine all sorts of social media streams. So it's literally all day. Yeah. I still just get blasted with it. Blasted all over the place. I am as pop culture informed as anyone my age is ever going to be. I don't know if that's a good thing to admit or not, but I'm into pop culture, and I always knew I liked Klondike Studios. He's dropping stuff in the live stream that if you're a Stern fan, you get it. Bradder and musculature,
but I so like
oatmeal.
I knew that like I saw Captain Marvel. I didn't think it was the best Marvel film by any stretch of the imagination. I thought it was good. I thought that she played the role well.
No, dude, that's when people review bombed. That's one of those things where they got on and review bombed it because it was a girl in the leading role and she was powerful.
Yeah, I mean, they fucking review bomb everything now. Like it's just like if it's a geek property, like it's gonna get review bombed. I mean, I like to try to look past all that crap. But like in terms of this story, would you have rathered her get any of these roles over the people who got them?
No.
So like, would you rather her have played Rey or played Jyn or played Kira?
No. And nothing against Brie. I like her. I think she's a beautiful young lady. She's obviously good at what she does. Even with hindsight, I still like, I think Jyn's perfect. Mm-hmm. I love Rey. I love Daisy. Even though they fucked up the character of Rey in the end, I love Daisy as Rey. She is Rey. I don't think there's anyone else that could have been Rey. Maybe the Kira. But now, even knowing Amelia was in it, that is it. I mean, she is imprinted in my mind as that character. So I can't even go back and retroactively place Brie's face on these women and jive with it. So
I think the best one that she could have done was Jyn. And I say that because Jyn, in terms of her personality, in terms of what she represented as a character, was most like Captain Marvel, I guess. You know, like she was a very empowered female who didn't take no for an answer and who pushed and who did things that people didn't think could be done. You know, like she pushed to get, you know, to go out there and to have this attack on the Death Star, on Scarif, and get those plans. She pushed all of the people around her in Rogue, in the Rogue Squadron at that time, to go out there and to make the rebellion a force to be reckoned with, not just this cell, like just this small cell.
Dude, Jyn kicks ass. I love Jyn.
So like, I think that Brie could have played that role really well. But the other two, I have to agree that like the casting that was done for them was spot on, and people can say what they want about Rey as a character, like you mentioned, but I think that Daisy killed it. I think Daisy did a really
as we always say,
job.
I mean, TFA, that's ultimately going to be the best of the sequel trilogies, but what Daisy does in that movie for Rey instantly made me love that character. I mean, I my one and only kid, her middle name is Rey for a reason. Yeah, it's because of Daisy as Rey in TFA. Now, I'm not happy where things ended in 9, but we've gone down that fucking dumbass rabbit hole way too many times. So no reason to drag that crap back up.
But I mean, I thought this was interesting that, like, not really knowing Brie's kind of trajectory. I mean, like, basically what I knew Brie Larson from prior to her being in Captain Marvel was Scott Pilgrim.
I didn't even know she was in that. And I like that movie, and I've seen it multiple times. I had no clue that she was just one of the random characters, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, she was Envy. She was Scott's ex-girlfriend. So she was like she was like the second lead female or something, or third lead female. So she wasn't even like in the top 3 of the leads in that movie. But if you look at her IMDb page, dude, it's like little shit. So like 2015 is when like TFA came out. Like, she really didn't
had she
have
won her
lot.
Oscar prior to 15? I'm imagining
she won her Oscar based off of a movie that came out in 15, which was an independent film.
Yeah,
it was Room,
right? And they're saying, at least Joe in chat's saying Room's intense, but I don't know. I don't like real life type of shit, especially if it's about like women being abused and crap.
Yeah, like I like her breakout was 2017 Kong Skull Island. Like, God,
she's in that too, isn't she?
Yeah, like that's what she was in.
That's a decent monster movie. That's a decent monster movie.
Dude, if you look at that 2017 Kong Skull Island, the rest of 2017, nothing that you would remember or have heard of. The Glass Castle, Unicorn Store, Basmati Blues, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
she didn't do anything in 2018. Zero. And then
she was doing like real life artsy shit, like what actors and actresses want to do. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to start making some fucking money. And now she's in the MCU and telling us, you know what I like about this video in particular, Nick, is very few actors will talk about roles they didn't get over someone else, or roles that they did get over someone else. It's kind of considered taboo. Yeah. So I find it refreshing that she's just coming out, and I'm sure she's able to do it because she didn't get these. It's not like she did get them and then she's shitting on all the other ladies that didn't. But I like that she just kind of sat down. I was like, yeah, I sucked at this, I sucked at that. Dude, like at one point she mentioned that she was so bad in Audition that the casting director told her, she's like, I will never accept an audition from you again. Oh boy.
Like, like that's how bad
people,
it was.
Never get up. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. God damn it. You're in America.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a fun thing to see. And it's not even just these roles. She tried out for every other movie too. All of them. Like, she tried out for every other Star Wars movie.
She was trying to voice act in Star Wars Resistance and got cut.
She was like, just give me anything.
Yeah, she just wants that Star Wars credit. But now that Feige's over here, he might get her involved. Even that's another thing that, like, what's Feige doing these days? Like, with Marvel or with Star Wars? I mean, there's such a black hole of geek news now. It's getting ridiculous. Because they know whenever they put out anything that people are just going to shit on it. Yeah. Like, why put out news about your projects when people are just going to shit on it? Not us. So we're always positive over here on the Star Wars Time Show. That's our motto. Star Wars podcast for a more civilized and positive age. Exactly. But I mean, if you look at Feige's IMDb page, it's fucking full of like announced filming, post
So the Black Widow movie, post-production, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings.
Yeah, see, like they figured it out over there, and that's Disney. They're like, oh, Black Widow, yeah, it's just gone. Like, we're not releasing it. It's like, fuck it.
Like, what the fuck's happening with that movie?
Right.
But, like,
you know what I mean? The strategy at Disney is odd. It's like everyone's in their own silos depending on which franchise they run. I mean,
I think what
Mulan,
they might be doing,
a flagship, they're like, hey, fuck it. Let's piss everyone off and make them buy a sub and then pay for something.
Dude, here's what they're doing for Marvel shit. They're intentionally stashing it. They're like, don't say anything about it. Do not bring it up in the
so
media.
You're saying we'll get back to the 3 to 4 MCU films a year shit, and it's just going to be like gangbusters once all this.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're like, make it to where people forget this was even announced.
Yeah.
And then when we're ready to go back, we hit them with it again like it's brand new.
Right, because they blew. They blew.
Like, I saw Black Widow shit so much. Like, Black Widow was in front of every movie that I went to see at the theaters, right. And now it's like it never existed.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're 100% right. I mean, I didn't even think they were starting to release new Black Widow toys, and then all that stuff has just kind of disappeared.
I think they literally, they're just like, don't say anything about it and hope people like out of sight, out of mind. And then when we're ready to go again, we can like do this big marketing.
It'd be nice. I mean, as anything 2020, it's so fucking odd it's almost September now, and we haven't seen a MCU movie since 2019.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we're not going to see one and probably until 2021, 2022 at this point.
And based on one of our last topics, we're not going to see Star Wars ever again, but we'll get there. So
Matt's a doomsayer here.
The only thing I haven't done is change my name to Lord Doomcock.
Basically.
You know what I mean? Doom and gloom. That's how we roll over here.
Before we get to the Kennedy news, we do have a potential spoiler here, or a potential leak about season 2 Mando, and it's based off of another subreddit, not the Star Wars leak subreddit. It was actually based off of Star Wars. It was a double Reddit, because I swear I pulled it out of the leak subreddit. You did, but they basically pulled it in from Star Wars the Black Series subreddit, which had a leak of
Lord. I got a new name, Lord Doom Scroller. I like it, Joe. I like it. See,
I like that too. But we have a look at the potential leak of the season 2 armor for Mando, and really not too much different. But there's 2 notable pieces that have changed.
I first have to mention, Nick. I don't know. Did you read the comments on this post? Our post on Instagram.
Yeah, I fucked up left and right.
No, there was that, but there was also someone like just getting on you for some of the adjectives you use, like wildly different or this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, man, people are such dicks. It's like bro, Nick's just trying to put shit out that I asked him to put out, and the 2 of the comments are like, hey, fucking idiot, you got your left and your right mixed up, and it's really not that neat.
I was talking about stage left and stage right, where if you're looking at the photo, then the thigh pads on the left. I didn't even mind that mix up.
I thought it was funny that the one guy literally took umbrage with how you were explaining the tweaks.
Like, this is what he said. I said the left thigh plate looks to be complete. Like, here's the thing. This is what he took umbrage with. 2 big changes. I said there's 2 big changes.
That's what I mean, man.
Big.
People are such dickheads on the internet. I teach this in my college course. When people go online, they devolve. They devolve in their manners and their personality, and just in the ability to be a human. I'm talking to even like process information. We all just devolve, and almost it's like we retard ourselves a little bit online. I do it too. I don't want to read big blocks of text. I want bullet points, but people are they're such dickheads. Just because Nick put like, big change, someone's like you fucking idiot, they only changed 1 thigh pad.
And like, I can get shit on for saying that these 2 changes were big, literally just using the word big, but they don't get, like, the leakers on Star Wars leaks don't get shit on for literally getting most of their shit wrong.
Feel the hate. Let your anger grow.
I will no longer use adjectives in my articles. I will only give you that there.
No, just do it in like caveman speak, because that's about anyone can handle on the internet.
To
anyways.
Change new leg pieces.
Lucasfilm, make change. Look at pick end.
So, for those of you on the live stream, Matt's got the image pulled up, and for those of you on the audio, what has changed here on the image of Mando and his armor is that his right thigh plate, so the thigh plate on his right leg, is completely replaced. It's no longer
which was
Beskar.
Always fucked up anyways. And I think you brought this up before. You're like, hey, did he not get his other thigh plate Beskar or this or that? Right? It never looked as new and shiny as the rest of his armor. I don't know if he was just keeping his old thigh plate as like a memory or something, or Lucasfilm ran out of money,
or maybe they just didn't have. Maybe he didn't have enough Beskar.
Right, but the point is, he had a mismatched thigh plate, and he still has mismatched thigh plates. But this one, it's a whole different design from his Beskar armor, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a thigh plate knee plate combo, because it extends all the way down to his knee.
Because and I'm glad you brought that up, because the other new change is to cover his knee. He adds the blue variant of the yellow Boba Fett knee pad
on his left leg. Yeah. So those are the two changes, and it could just mean that we're getting a little bit of a skip, or this could be armor from later in the season after the beginning, where he, maybe he gets it beat up early on, and then he's got to make some additions.
Maybe
or some
he
changes
kills that asshole with the spurs and is like, hey, that's a sweet knee pad and thigh pad. See ya.
Yeah, needs some armor upgrades. I think too, if you look real closely, it's really hard to see in this image, but if you look at his right shoulder pauldron, it looks like that's the Mudhorn insignia on it. Yeah. But I cannot
No, you're
tell.
right. You're right. And the other one, it almost looks like when metal gets burnt by something. Mm-hmm. See how there's kind of like that blue sheen on it a little bit?
Yeah.
Like not direct flame, or it'd be black, but it was almost like someone was waving heat over it.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm hoping, just like in season 1, we see how this change comes about. But if we just fire up, S2E1 and he's wearing this, I'm not going to go to the internet and start bitching and moaning about, what the fuck, Lucasfilm? I'm sure this was Kathleen Kennedy's idea not to show us how he got his new thigh pad. She's a communist and she loves China.
Probably that will happen. But I mean, I'm down for, whatever gets put out there. If we get to see it, cool. If we don't get to see it, cool. I like the fact, like, sometimes I like when there's little time jumps and we're like, oh man, his shit's changed. I wonder what happened. Like, I wonder
even
what
that's fun. I mean,
that.
But there's a lot of morons out there that don't like weaving their own tales in their head.
Because what people have to realize now in Star Wars land is, like, when little bitty shit like that happens, that opens up the possibility for multimedia expansion of the universe. So if we do see season 1 Mando and he's got this difference in his armor, we get a comic book
comic
series.
Or a novel, or for us toy assholes, this is just gives Hasbro another reason to print another figure for us to buy. And it looks 99% the same as the ones we already own, but there is that one little tweak, so you got to have it.
There you go. I mean, like, the fucking red arm thing with C-3PO and TFA. Yeah. Oh, the red arm. They had a series of comics that explained why he had the red arm.
Yeah, I think it was just one comic to do it all. But
it was one book.
You're right.
Like, the shit gets filled in, and it doesn't need to be exactly in it doesn't have to be in the show. It doesn't have to be in a flashback or anything like that. You can get this information from somewhere else in a different media format. So,
some other comments, Nick, on this one, just from the Star Wars nuts out there. But I saw some people chiming in that they think his cape looks a little shorter, almost like some of the stuff that got burned up or fucked up in season 1. He just was like, hey, fuck it, whatever.
Let's just leave it.
A lot of people made the mention that the jetpack isn't on.
Yeah, I mean, I brought that up in the post on StarWarsTime.net as well. I mean, like, the way that I thought of it is like this. I mean, like, if this is like a promotional image and they may not need it, he's also not going to be like, he may just take the jetpack off. Like, if you're in your ship, you don't need to be wearing your jetpack.
Fett wears his motherfucking jetpack in the ship.
I think that's actually just attached. It might just be attached to his armor, like because Mando's jetpack is not attached. to his armor.
He's got straight up magnet. I love his. This is like whoop.
Yeah.
I wish Hot Toys would make the same system that they use in the show, because I can tell you right now, if you own a 1/6 scale Boba Fett, put on his fucking rocket pack. Nick, it's one of those things where it could end up getting thrown against a wall at very high velocity. Because you like have to balance it onto this real teeny little clip on one side and then do it on the next side without the other side becoming dislodged. And let me tell you, you can't just hang it on there. It's always some sort of clusterfuck process.
That does not sound.
You guys
fun.
see why I don't work with my hands? It just does not work well. Any little tiny maneuver like that, using little screws or screwdrivers, this, that, and the other thing, just no. The only thing I can deal with is blunt force, hammers, sledges, axes, stuff like that.
Put together, head,
exactly.
Don't work, throw.
Exactly.
Matt's got some of the Neanderthal genes left in there.
So there he is, Mando S2. He still doesn't have his little eye scanner like Boba does and some of the other Mando warriors.
Django.
But I love him. I mean, I like Din better than Boba. That wasn't too hard. I've never been a huge Boba fan. Love the way he looks. Don't really respect Boba Fett. Never will. You guys are not going to talk me into that shit. My Boba Fett is movie Fett, and he's a fucking bozo.
Put out content that makes us respect Boba Fett again. That is what your task is.
Right. And I think you know what I realized, Nick? In the comic scene, I jumped on the new Bounty Hunters run. And then I never turned on auto sub or whatever.
Subscribe, yeah.
So they've been coming out, and I've been missing all the new ones, and I just like, fuck it. So I can tell you right now, Matt is only covering proper Star Wars and proper Vader 2020 moving on. I'm not moving on with the Afra series or the Bounty Hunter series. Just didn't suck me in that first issue, so fuck it.
I will say that I should be getting the new Thrawn books soonish. I put my pre-order in, but for some reason the book comes out on September 1st, but Amazon's telling me that I won't get it until September 14th. So
that's fucked up. I would ask for your money back on your Prime membership at that point.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
That's a bunch of bullshit. So there's our Mando. Expect another figure to buy in multiple scales that looks like this.
Yeah. So
here's the big one, right?
Before we get into our fan segment.
Right. This is the state of the Star Wars cinematic universe mostly. I mean, she made some other comments. I believe in this interview, she did confirm that Kenobi is just a limited run series. It's not going to be like a Mando. I think everyone knew that. I mean, it might have been a pipe dream to think that Kenobi was going to be a recurring series. We did learn there was supposed to be a movie, so it made sense that this was going to be a limited run. I still hope it's more than 4 episodes at 30 minutes, but you never know. At this point, I'll try to take my friend's stance and just be like, hey, whatever we get, we should just be happy for.
I mean, there's no sense in crying over spilled milk, but there's no sense in crying over milk that isn't there. Like people are literally crying about shit that we don't have and we're never going to get.
Well, I mean, we were going to get some stuff. Through 2021, they had guaranteed projects. It was every other year you're going to get a Star Wars story mixed with a Skywalker saga. They fucking TNT'd that shit immediately after people started getting squirrely with TLJ and then their mismanagement of Solo marketing and release.
Yeah, so that's the spill.
So that's why I'm still angry, Nick. So don't make fun of me too much. I do have some valid points as to why I can be pissed. I mean, I'm pissed all the time anyways, but in regards to this topic, they did tell us one thing and now have completely changed that tune to the point where it's basically, we don't know what the fuck we're doing with Star Wars movies.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a Star Wars movie in 2023.
Maybe.
We know that.
Maybe.
That is not a maybe. I feel like I know that you keep saying maybe because the pessimist in your head is like, they're going to can it anyway. But like, I don't think that they would go, at least I don't think that they would go on an investor's call, say, this is the updated timeline for everything, including Star Wars. 2023, 2025, 2027.
That's a good point, but
without at least the intention of saying of doing that.
Right. Well, I'm sure on previous investors' calls, they're like, "Hey, we're doing a Boba Fett movie and a Kenobi movie in 2021," and then that all changes. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, like it's very possible that plans change, but I think the plans changed last time due to what is considered negative fan feedback and poor box office performance, which is a reason to make changes. I don't think that there will be a reason to make changes to the 2023 release date ahead of it. So like there's nothing that's happening in Star Wars ahead of 2023 outside of Disney Plus stuff that's going to make Disney say like, well, we're not going to do this now. We're going to can 2023 or we're going to push it back or something like that. So that's my thought behind it. At least they had a reason in their own minds to change the cadence of releases prior to this recent update. So Kathleen Kennedy was talking to The Wrap, which is a big movie website, about the future of Star Wars. And like Matt mentioned, she did kind of confirm some things on the TV side. I didn't put that in here because I wanted to focus on the movie side of things. So she did mention that Disney Plus and serialized TV will be a big part of Star Wars moving forward. She said that the reception to The Mandalorian was unlike anything that they expected, and that, you know, it proves that there is a life to be had for Star Wars outside of the silver
and that's
screen.
really, isn't that kind of what she's saying here, Nick? She's going, listen, when Disney got into this shit, George was already starting to think about finishing his 9. He'd always wanted to do his 9. So she's essentially saying Disney Star Wars' focus from day one of the sale was to finish things out and, for the most part, do Star Wars story content related to that Skywalker saga, characters, yes, time periods, so on and so forth, right? Because yes, Solo, Boba, Kenobi, those were going to be our Star Wars stories in addition to Rogue One. Now she's saying, all right, we kind of fucked that shit up. We definitely fucked up Skywalker saga. I mean, there's no one that can sit here and say that trilogy was perfect from start to finish. Some people are way more upset about it than Nick and I are. Even between Nick and I mean, he likes Tross a lot better than I do. I probably like TLJ a little better than he does, this, that, and the other thing. But we can at least sit down and agree, like, those 3 movies on their own they're not bad. You know, TFA is probably the best. Feels good. TLJ, very different. I still think it's a worthwhile addition to the Skywalker saga. Tross, for all the bullshit, it definitely has some real cool set pieces, this, that, and the other thing. But in terms of the trilogy, it's garbage.
It kind of fell apart.
There's no continuity. It feels like 2 trilogies. You got a 1-movie trilogy that is fit in between a 2-movie trilogy. It's just super disjointed. So they're like, you know what? We fucked up that was some fucked up shit. We managed to fuck up the end of the Skywalker saga, which to me is still absolutely mind-boggling when you know the material you have. It just makes no sense, but whatever. It's over. We can't sit there and stew on it for the rest of our lives, although I'm sure I will. But she's saying, like, listen, that story has been told. We honored George's vision for the Skywalkers. Now, you can argue, did they truly honor it? I would say probably not, because we learned through...
I think they had, like... I don't think anybody in business ever goes into anything with the intention of tanking it.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, they definitely misstepped on storytelling.
100%. I'll tell you right now,
the creative process.
I don't hate anyone involved at Disney Star Wars. I'm disappointed, and I think if this next run is crap, heads should roll.
Yeah.
But I'm disappointed. I mean, how could you sit there and go, we're going to take George Lucas's vision and give it to 3 different fucking artists to finish out a trilogy which needs to be cohesive? Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
They sorely underestimated the role that Lucas played in the OT. Basically, they looked at the OT and they were like, "Oh, well, they had 3 different directors." But they
had
did
one.
not take
They had
into
one
account,
constant voice, and that was George Lucas. He was the one
they did not put his equation into that.
They may have doctored up the script for him, but he was still the source material for the content, for the narrative.
So they fucked up there.
Right.
But so whether they honored it or not, so this is, Kathleen then goes on to talk about what the future of cinematic Star Wars will hold. And she had a couple of quotes, so I'll read them out. She says, and now we're stepping back. Stories have been told within this universe for the last 40 years, and there's now the realization that this is a mythology that actually spans about 25,000 years.
See, I could see fans rolling their eyes at that quote and going, "See, she doesn't know fucking Star Wars," and I would somewhat agree with them. You've known this. I've known this. Everyone listening has known that Star Wars now spans all of these thousands of millennia.
Yeah.
Why is she just now saying that? That to me, like, especially to the nutty Star Wars fans, that's like chum in the water for their arguments against Disney, Lucasfilm, and Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, here's the thing to me is, like, if that's what you're getting upset over, that literally the president of Lucasfilm, an exec level decision maker, does not know the minutia, then I have a big surprise to tell you about the business world. Like, that is not something that they focus on. I don't care if you're the president of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but doesn't she position herself as a champion of George's vision and the characters and the story?
George Lucas probably couldn't tell you that there were 25,000 years of storytelling. Like, I will tell you right now that George Lucas could not tell you every story that was told in Star Wars before he sold it. He couldn't. He could not. He knew the big things. He knew the things that he was involved in, and he might have known the general timeline.
All right,
but if you ask him about, hey, what's your thoughts on Back to War, the book from X-Wing, the X-Wing series, he would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? If you asked him, name me all the writers that wrote in the Legacy of the Force series back before it was sold, he'd be like, who, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
yeah, but he still had to sign off on all this shit.
He did not after a certain amount of time. Like, he gave up, like, he didn't give it up. Like, he was just like, all right, yeah, sure. You want to write
so you're
novel
telling
series?
me back
That's all in the
then,
hands.
you're telling me back then when George owned the license, I could write a Star Wars book
that would be approved
that makes,
by Del Rey Books.
They're all gay, or they're all Nazis, and they go around and round up all the Grands in the galaxy and execute them in gas chambers, and that would have flown.
Because the books go through a vetting process through the publishers, but they don't go directly to George Lucas for him to say, like, hey, read this and see if you think it's okay.
All right, another counterpoint to your business point here, Nick.
Okay.
If you are someone knowing that you're inheriting a $4 billion license, even if you yourself don't have the time to learn and research what you're inheriting, would you not appoint some underlings to maybe fill you in on some of the cliff notes about this $4 billion thing you just bought?
They didn't inherit anything. They inherited 6 movies. And that was it. Because they nuked the EU. So everything that they inherited, they didn't inherit.
Yeah, but they're still cherry picking all the stuff they want from the EU, right?
So she's talking about now the 25,000 years of storytelling are things that they have decided to bring back into canon that has been rewritten into the EU. All of the stuff that came quote unquote with the acquisition is not involved here. So if you want her to, do you think Kathleen Kennedy cares what the story of Jedi Fallen Order is? As the president of a major corporation, what you are worried about is, how do I make the most money for our corporation to ensure that we persist and live through multiple decades and allow our creatives and our storytellers to tell stories throughout multiple decades? Or she's worried about, what can we do to best market and expand our audience reach? Like, she does not know. If you ask her what her thoughts on Darth Revan are, she may not even know who that is, but that's not her job to know who that is. Like if you were the president of Walmart, do you think that he knows who the person who's running the Columbus, Ohio store is?
I'll tell you what, if he's a damn good president, he would.
I don't think that's even
and that just shows you the soullessness of corporate America. So I'm going to disagree. Kathleen Kennedy, especially her ties to George and material, she should have known what she was sitting on. And they've reminded us in the chat that at one point in time, she said they have no source material.
So because they did, they exactly.
But now they're using it. So what changed?
Intentionally.
But now they're using it.
It up intentionally. What are they using it for?
Revan's canon now, isn't he?
Revan is not canon. Revan. People like to say that Revan is canon. People think that Revan is canon.
No, what's the other one? Bane.
An amulet. Bane was canon in Clone Wars before Disney bought it. And Clone Wars was brought over with Disney, and that always stayed canon.
I'm starting to think Nick is related to Kathleen Kennedy.
I just don't think people understand how business works. Like, people get really wrapped up in
I know plenty well how business works. I can just tell you, these people have fumbled what they were given. They were given a golden egg.
So, I mean, I'm not arguing that they fumbled it. That's definitely not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that this person that you're talking about is a business executive and does not. She's a
producer, though. Like, she only cares about how much money a movie costs. She doesn't care about if Lucasfilm is successful. She does ultimately, but she cares how much is a movie going to cost.
Exactly. So she doesn't. It's not her job to know the 25,000 years.
I don't know. She talks like it is her job to know about the story. Because, I mean, I don't know the exact quotes, but she has been out there in other interviews saying, like, oh, I love this story. I did this and we did that. And I wanted to do this. And it's like, okay. And she's the one that supposedly, organized this story group who the fuck are they? Like, if you have a story group that's supposed to oversee this shit, how do they allow?
That is exactly the story group are the lore, like Pablo Hidalgo, this lore keeper. That's his job to know.
Okay, well, what the fuck's he doing?
Are there?
What's he doing?
What they do in their involvement with the movies and what they do was fumbled to a degree that was unimaginable. Like, they fucked it up. But it is inarguable to me that like you can expect Kathleen Kennedy to know the minutia of every Star Wars story ever
let's
told.
just talk not a movie business, but if you are the leader of a business unit and your underlings fail you, whose fault is that?
That's your fault. Right. But but like, you can't, like, I'm not trying to make that comparison. I'm not saying that they did everything correctly.
Well, you keep using the business argument, so I am using the business argument too. Like, if she was a CEO of a company,
that you're making is that they fucked up and that she's responsible, and I'm agreeing with you. And what I'm saying is that as a president of a corporation, she's not expected to know 25,000 years worth of storytelling.
She's not, but she should if she wants to be good and not let her division disappoint.
If you had the option, if you were a president of a company, would you rather know how to market it properly? If you had the choice of two things and you can't have both,
as a president, marketing isn't my job.
Would you want to know how to make the company the most money so you could continue to tell stories, or to know the tiny details that don't matter to you about
I think
Darth Bane?
No, I think if you are a leader in any form of life, if you have empathy for your people, you will get better results than just, marching orders. I'm only care about the marketing. Let's make as much money as possible. If you treat people like they're humans and the president walks in and says, oh, hey, Nick, how you doing today? And you're like, holy shit, he or she actually knows who I am. You're probably going to work a lot harder for that person.
I think that she does know the people. She knows the people. She knows the people who work for her. She knows the people who work at Lucasfilm. But like, she may know some pieces of lore about very popular, non-cinematic
I get you. She's not the caretaker of the lore, but again, she's the boss. She's going to get the target set on her. That's life. When you are the face, you live and die. And I always made the argument Bob Iger should have been the one getting most of the fucking shit because he was the boss.
Oh yeah, I agree. But like,
he's the one letting all this shit go down.
I just don't think that there's any reason or any sense in taking umbrage with the fact that she says now we're realizing that there's over 25,000 years of storytelling and mythology.
Dude, like, if you think that stuff like keeps me up at night, it doesn't. I'm just making a point. That's a bad line to say when you already know most fans think you're a fucking idiot.
I mean, most fans are going to think she's an idiot regardless of what she says. So I mean, like, like that's just how life is. And as somebody, I would rather her focus on making the most money and getting this business, getting Star Wars to the point to where it is successful financially and we can continue to get Star Wars in the future than for her to tell me her thoughts on
It's never not
Darth
been
Rex.
successful financially. I mean, Solo still probably made a couple dollars. The other ones made plenty of dollars, just not based on historical releases. They were up to snuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I still contend like they had this roadmap, this plan of content. One bad thing happened, and then they just completely all were like, "Oh, we're scared of Star Wars."
Yeah, I mean, they nuked it because they fumbled a release.
Yeah, Kathleen.
But again, like this, you're arguing around my point, which is that she doesn't need to know this. Like,
okay, I do believe someone in her position should know a little bit about essentially something that is the Bible for most people and will be taught thousands of years down the road if we live. She should probably know a little bit about it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, so now you're saying that she doesn't know anything about the movies. That's what you're saying.
No,
now.
not at all. I'm saying about the franchise.
Well, you just
general.
said that she knows nothing about it.
I mean, there's some people in this chat saying she knows nothing about it. I didn't say that.
But then earlier you said that she was citing other stories that she liked, that she claimed to have liked. So now you're arguing against yourself.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There we go.
You're the one getting teed off on. Everyone thinks you're the idiot, not me.
Well, here's the thing: is like you need to understand how business executives work
and
where
business
their focus is.
You think just because I've been in academia for 10 years, I forgot what 8 years being in a Fortune 20 company was like? Executives suck. I hate every fucking one of them. I hate them if they're men. I hate them if they're women. Corporate America is garbage. It is the death of the world. Capitalism's terrible.
Well, that's fine if you believe that, but you also just have to know the inner workings of
I do know the inner workings. Kathleen Kennedy positions herself as someone that knows a lot about Star Wars.
When you really start to look at the stories, the different stories that have been told, whether it's in games or books, there's over 25,000 years of experience. We just need to take time, step back, and really absorb what George has created, then start to think about where things might go.
She's essentially admitting all the stuff she should have done in 2012.
Okay.
Now, after the fact, after she realizes that they bumblefucked the Skywalker saga, now she's like, oh yeah, maybe we should look at all this mythology that stemmed from George's creation. All the shit that fans have been screaming about. So my point has been from day one, I don't fucking care if she's the president of the United States. I wish she was at this point. Anything is better than what we got.
I mean,
but when you're in that position and when you've known George Lucas for half your life, you should know something about the franchise and what fans want. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think that she does know about the franchise in the capacity that she needs to know about it. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we've been doing. And we've been having a great deal of fun doing it and meeting with lots of different filmmakers and talent. There's so many fans out there and so many filmmakers that have been influenced by Star Wars for so long that it's a fantastic opportunity to get a sense of who wants to be a part of this. So that's what we've been doing.
You know how I interpret that statement?
What?
You know how I interpret this statement now? Do you want my spin on what she's saying?
Go for it.
I tried to do everything my way for this and it failed. Now I'm actually going to start listening to people that were probably pitching stories to me and I told them they were stupid.
Right?
I
mean, that's potentially correct there. I mean, she I don't know if she was the mastermind behind the whole sequel trilogy and how it was released and the creative decisions that were made for the storytellers and everything like that. It seems like she was. So she did realize that she's fucked up, which is a good thing, because a lot of people who make mistakes don't realize that they did it.
Wow.
So it's better to realize your mistake and then try to correct it than to just continue on doing things incorrectly.
That's why I'm sticking to my guns. I feel like she should have known her shit going into this. She's not an idiot. She's worked with George Lucas and Spielberg her whole life.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like she was like, I know better than you. Shut the fuck up.
I agree with you that she fucked up this release, but I just don't agree with you on the minutia part of it. Like, would her knowing things about books that are no longer canon affect the way that she decided to make that film franchise? No.
Maybe.
So in basically what they're saying here is that they're taking their time and they're figuring out the right way to do it. And to me, that is more important than getting hung up on something that is in the past. Like getting hung up on.
I'm over all that shit. What I'm not over is the fact that we now have to wait like 5 years to see another Star Wars movie. That to me is insane. And I know you're gonna be like, hey man, if they never bought it, we would never be. And you're right, but they did buy it, and they told us they were doing all this shit, and now they're not doing it.
I mean, I just don't have that level of. I don't know. I would rather them get their shit straight. And hey, if you want to delay it until 2025 so you can get it exactly right, I'm happy.
What does that even mean anymore, though?
Why does it make a difference what it means? Would you rather them say we're not making Star Wars movies, or we're taking time to get our shit right?
I'd rather them say Dave Filoni is now in charge and everyone can rest easy.
Well, when you get the job at Lucasfilm, then you can put him in charge. But the fact of the matter is that we have to live in reality in the world that we're in now.
I just like this stuff just is mind-boggling. When you have a man like that in your organization, how is he not involved?
I mean, maybe
at higher level stuff.
But like that's the thing is like we don't know what they're doing for 2023. We don't know what level of involvement anybody's going to have.
It's odd. It's odd to me. I sometimes compare Star Wars to the MCU. I know people hate, like, we don't need 2 Star Wars movies a year. Like, I argue against it. I think the source material is so damn deep and rich, and if you let the right people do it, you could do Star Wars every fucking year until we all die.
Oh, you could.
So that's why I
choose to use the old source material.
It's frustrating to know that they had a roadmap. They pussed out on it because they lost faith in their own vision because of bad fucking decisions made at the high levels. No one's head rolled. Everyone was allowed to continue. So I'm just sitting here now where they're going like, well, we're just going to rethink all this shit. It's like, well, where was this planning when you got the fucking license?
I mean, they put in place a plan that they thought was going to work properly.
It shows a level of arrogance on Iger's part, Kennedy's part, all of them, that we don't need to listen to you other writers pitching us on other Star Wars besides Skywalker-centric shit. And now you know what this is? This article, this interview is 100% because of The Mandalorian. And she even says it herself. She didn't truly believe in it and what it could turn into. And now that they have fiscally proven to the money spenders that, hey, we can do Star Wars and it doesn't have to be about Luke, Leia, or someone tied to the rebellion or the Empire. And look, they love it. Now she's going, oh, you mean Star Wars fans like the Star Wars universe? Oh, let's just halt everything, stop, and let's try to clone the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, she up front says that their focus from the beginning was on the new sequel trilogy, on finishing the 9 movies. So she said that was their focus up front. Now, what they were trying to do in terms of content outside of that before this blow up and before Mandalorian came out, we already know that it was solely focused on the characters that were involved in the Skywalker saga. So it is nice that they're now exploring content outside of it. Like, I don't think that, if Solo would have come out, if Solo comes out and does $1 billion in May, I think that we stay on this train. I think that we stay on like here's the Kenobi movie, here's the Boba movie, here's the Yoda movie, here's the Tales from the Cantina movie. We stay in the Skywalker saga for a much longer time, which can be argued two ways. Like, we don't get the Mandalorian if Solo succeeds. I mean, from what reports have said, that the Mandalorian was built out of like Jon Favreau going to them and saying, like, hey,
no, who was doing Mando? Someone was actually doing the Boba film. Trank, right?
Josh Trank was doing Boba.
And he basically, he came out when he's trying to promote his latest movie and more or less said, I just quit because I knew they were going to fire me because they didn't like what the fuck I was doing, essentially.
Yeah, well, they didn't like. He was working on it before that Fantastic Four movie came out.
Yeah, they saw that shit show and they're like, all right, go fuck yourself.
And they nuked it. So like, you can look at it two ways. If Solo succeeds, we continue to get movies on a 2-year basis, but we don't get the Mandalorian or any Disney Plus content that we possibly get
we would have
now.
never known about. We knew about the other projects. That's all I'm getting to. They had a plan and they fucking blew it up based on one goofy year, and really the decisions were on the bosses. Yeah, Solo's a damn good movie. All you fucking idiots that boycott and have went out and watched it now that it's free, you're like, oh wow, I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
but that was all Iger. I mean, Iger 100% fucking tanked Solo.
I mean, he admitted in his book that he changed the release date of that to May because of the Mary Poppins release date already being held for that movie. The
production was all fucked up because, again, they hired directors and then fire them halfway through project. And that's the other thing. Think about how many fucking directors got fired throughout this Skywalker saga project. It's nuts. All right, this topic is worn me out, Nick.
I mean, I will say that I am happy to hear that they are taking their time and figuring things out, because it would have been very easy to say, like, put some shit out, it'll make money and we'll be happy with it. I look at this
I can't say I'm happy to wait this long. I understand, especially in gaming, sometimes some extra development is great. I just have a hard time understanding that you need years and years and years to figure out Star Wars when Dave Filoni has done it day in and day out on any project he touches, be it within the Skywalker universe or without in Mando. There's people that work there that know what the fans want. They know what's good. They know the lore. It's odd to me. It's just odd that they still need that much time to figure out Star Wars. Yeah, you got the blueprint at this point in Mando. Cool characters, new characters, a little bit of lore from the old stuff woven in there, and people will eat it up. It's not that fucking hard. If I wasn't so stupid, I'd sit here and write a fucking Star Wars movie. I
think that, like, it's definitely clear to fans, or it seems clear to fans, what the route forward is, like the easy way forward is, and it's just. You have to hope that, what they come up with in the exec boardroom is going to be aligned with what fans want.
I believe in Taika, so I guess I'll hold out hope he gives us something.
And here's the thing. Taika's first exposure to Star Wars was working with Dave Filoni. So it's very possible that even without them saying, hey, Dave Filoni is involved in every project, that Taika just says, like, I want this guy with me. Like, he knows more than I'll ever know. He knows more than anybody will ever know about Star Wars. So it would be foolish of me to not have him there as a consultant, as somebody there for me to lean on.
At this point in my head, I'm just going with Filoni's been offered to take over Lucasfilm. He's just said, no, I'd rather work on stories. And I'm good with that. Yeah,
because when you run Lucasfilm, your priorities change.
I just want him to be George Lucas. It just kind of be the all-powerful that just gets to do the art, but also controls the direction of shit. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Dave needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and put an end to this topic because we're easily going to go past 3 hours and I'm starting to hallucinate. So it was always a good time. We both love Kathleen Kennedy. We just might not agree on how she is moving forward with the franchise. And no Duel of the Fates here. I still love Nick. It's fine. That's what it's called when two adults argue and can actually have a conversation with varying opinions. It's a lost art form in this world, especially in the United States of fuck.
It's true. So 2023, keep your calendars open to
we'll
December
all be dead by then.
22nd.
At least Nick and I, because we're in the United States. So
it's true.
Tell us if it's good.
We may have to, pass the torch on to the Aussie.
Oh my
folk
god!
To continue the Star Wars time show.
All right, dude. So let's get into the fandom segment as we do about this time, or whenever we start to close out of our actual topics. Now we get into the nonsense that everyone is here for and has had to suffer upwards of 2 hours and 22 minutes of just pure hot Star Wars air. All right. So before we get into the top 5, and it is a +1 week, we're going to go ahead and show off a new battle bracket that Nick's been working on. Let me go ahead and get the screen switched over here. Yes. All right, slacky do. See ya, browser later. So there it is, my friends. Introducing Nick's latest Star Wars character battle bracket. This time, we're going with the droids. So it is the, I don't know what you call it, the battle of the machines, the champions of AI, whatever you want to go with. But Nick has stitched out the bracket. He's debuting it for the first time on the Star Wars Time Show, episode 125. So go ahead, Nick, lay it on them. Who are our combatants?
Our combatants for this droid battle bracket. We only have 10. Usually we have 16, but honestly, it was hard trying to figure out 16 droids to put in here that weren't just going to get stomped. So, first thing you may notice if you're looking at the bracket is C-3PO is not involved.
Did I fuck this up? Or is the image right?
It's it is. It's like a split bracket. So the way that you see it is you'll have since there's only 10 competitors, you have to have a two battles first to decide who fights our first seed and our second seed. So the way that the bracket breaks down in terms of seeding is our number 1 seed is K2SO. Our number 2 seed is HK47 from the KOTOR games.
That's interesting.
Our number 3 seed is the Droidica from the original, or from the prequel trilogy.
I'm sorry, Nick. Chaos Cuties, who you've chosen to be in our top 5, is probably one of the biggest C-3PO homers of all time, and she is quite upset that you left him out of the battle bracket. But I know, I'll back you up. I mean, he's not 000, so he's not a murder protocol droid. So I don't think he really fit here.
He's not a fighter.
He would be like the 100 seed.
Yeah, I went back and forth. If I was to just list out all the droids, he would have, I almost just for the memes was I'll figure out 16 and I'll just make him the last seed and he'll get raffle stomped no matter what. He'll just get destroyed.
He could have been like that. You know how the NCAA tournament over here for basketball, they have that playing game to get the seed 64. He should have been in that against he could have been that. Him and Gonk in a fight to the death.
But I just don't know if it would have been competitive if he would have been in it.
Gonk would have just gonked the whole time, and C-3PO would have just been reciting protocols to him.
Yeah, it's just whoever's programming failed first would be the one who won. So, I did pick 10 because, in my opinion, the 10 droids that are in here are going to be most notable amongst people who are going to be participating, and they actually have battle capabilities. They have
some just off the top of my head they're missing. Forlom.
Yeah, I again he was one, but that
he's really he's background for the most part, unless you've gotten into EU or comic books. So I agree with that. Nick and I, we did talk about this before we came on, the General Grievous being involved here, but we did discuss because he has a meat sack, he probably should have been in the non-force users bracket. But
I will take the blame on that one, because Grievous hasn't been in any of the brackets, and he should have been in the non-force user bracket. It was just hard because when I was putting this one together, I was like, well, do I put him in it? But then I feel like Grievous auto wins this bracket. Like
it was the right call because he's not a full on droid, not at all. I mean, he's more or less in a life support, skeleton, like if you will. So I think really any of the IGs could have been interchangeable. So I think going with 11 makes sense just because of the Mando and all that stuff.
Yeah. He's the most prominent one now. Like 88 is one that people, old fans will cling to and will recognize. But like really, 11 has had, a more.
It's the same fucking. They all have the same builds and they all are held to the same programming, so it's fine.
Yeah. So
I like HK. HK is a good one. Again, unless you've been playing. Sorry, I got excited. Unless you've been playing SWTS. I bet a lot of people are like, HK-47 sounds familiar. What's he from again? And KOTOR.
Yes. The original KOTOR game. He was Darth Revan's assassin droid.
I'm glad you made the B1. The Roger Rogers are the last seed.
The last seed, yeah. So 3 seed is the Droideka. 4 seed is IG-11. 5 seed is R2-D2. And then the 6 seed is the B2 Super Battle Droid. And if you remember ROTS, then you'll know why I have R2 ranked above the B2s.
I mean, R2 fucks a lot of shit up. I mean, those movies, he's quite a little warrior. So,
I got him in there, like, right in the middle because he could make a run.
Yeah, I think 5's good for R2.
Yeah. So 6 seed is the B2 Super Battle Droid. 7 seed is Leet from Solo. 8 seed is Chopper. I
like Leet being in there. Some people are going like, what? I mean, she was in a fucking droid battle arena when we first meet her. So
like she literally ripped some droid's head off. Like she was like fighting in a cage.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So I love Chop. Chop.
This one was hard for me. I was like, do I put BB-8 in it or not? Like, we've seen him do some things, but he didn't. He never did anything.
He can fight with casino coins, and he's got a lighter for a finger.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a little shock thing too.
Well, and he commandeered a First Order chicken walker and was lighting up a fucking a Star Destroyer. So
fucking blowing shit up. So. And then like you mentioned, Matt, the 10th seed is the B1 battle droid, Roger. So
if we ever did, some of the fans suggested either doing like duels or squads, just SWTS. I'll tell you what, if we did SWTS rules, the B1, the B2, and the Droideka would be nearly unstoppable.
Yeah,
because their synergy is ridiculous.
Yeah, like
anytime B2 uses his regular attack, all droids fucking go. Mm-hmm. And those B1s, they have like that wave attack. I love it.
Yeah, like it's just like you just get everybody on your team gets hit by a massive thing of firepower. The Droideka can go invincible where you can't damage it. Yeah. So if you can't dispel that off of them, you're fucked.
I love SWTS. I love it. Yeah. I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, I'm so far away from unlocking anything big, but I still love doing my grinding.
I'm still working.
I will have gas. I mean, I always have gas, but actual gas, General Anakin, next event, he's mine. I'm getting it. It's done.
There you go. It's done. I'm not even close.
And my 501 boys are like relicked up to 4 or 5, so he's almost ready to be a formidable squad right when I unlock him. There goes everyone tuning out of the show.
So cool. In terms of how the battles will break out, we have to have 2 because it's only 10 seeds. We have to have 2 battles before we move into the bigger side of the bracket. So Chopper versus BB-8 is going to be our first battle. That's 8 versus 9. And then we're going to have Leet versus the B1 battle droid, 7 versus 10 first. The winner of those two will fight
K2 and HK got a first round bye, essentially.
They got a first round bye. Yep. So that's how the battle is going to break out. I will start this either today after the show or tomorrow. And we will move through this new battle bracket. All right. And this will occupy
we'll try
to
keep these up. So if you're on our Discord, drop suggestions for future battles. I know some of you did in the live stream chat last week. But as I said, as soon as this show ends every day, the show has essentially been deleted from my mind. I don't remember what I said or what was said. So you got to let us know. Add us on Discord, whatever, Instagram. Other ideas for continuing the battle bracket segment. Good stuff. All right. So, you know what happens after we talk battle bracket. It is time for the fan question of the week. This week's question, I believe, Nick, was all about Star Wars villains, right?
Indeed it was. So the question was, it's good to be bad. Who was your favorite Star Wars villain and why?
Okay.
So
and we're starting with
some answers up here.
Alex C here.
Yeah, Alex C. I don't know because if I don't know their Instagram handle because the way that DMs work.
Yeah, I'm just pissed that Nick has 5G and I don't.
Oh, that's fake 5G.
It is?
That's like AT&T has like a weird version of 5G.
You gotta love Android devices and their carriers. They'll do anything.
Yeah. So anyway, Alex's response here says, love reading more about Dooku. Very underappreciated villain, skilled, powerful, and needed more backstory revealed in the movies or cartoons.
Right. I mean, at least Dooku gets fleshed out much more in the Clone Wars series, and you get to understand a lot more about the character and kind of some of his intentions for what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I'm with you because, I mean, George has said this. Each villain in the prequel trilogy was 1/3 of who Darth Vader became. Right? Yeah. You had Maul was just the pure ability, anger, just rawness. Mm-hmm. Dooku showed that a Jedi could fall and become a Sith. And then ultimately, with Grievous in the last movie, this, that, and the other thing, it showed that a damaged organic could be given a second chance at life through a machination.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Dooku, he is someone that I would love to learn more about because he was he was held in such high regard in the Jedi Order. I mean, he was trained by Yoda himself. He in turn trained Qui-Gon, who in turn trained Obi, who in turn trained Darth Vader. So he's got some hardcore Star Wars lore lineage behind him. It's just the movies, again, you didn't get much. And Christopher Lee was perfect as him, but the lines he had to deliver kind of made him sound like a bozo. There's a huge bozo moment in AOTC on Geonosis right when he captures Kenobi. And he walks, he's like, oh no, oh my God, how could this happen? Oh, God, the Senate. It's like, please.
Every time I see that scene, I waffle back and forth between like, he's trying to deliver it like that to seem sarcastic and like, oh, well,
just be an extra dick to Kenobi, like no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. Or the fact that it was just like a really shitty delivery.
It's just a bad take, man. I mean, Christopher Lee's a Hollywood icon. It's like, come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's one of the best actors to ever live.
It's just odd, but I mean, he's another Sith that told the Jedi exactly what they're going to do. And the Jedi are like, no, we know more. You're bad. Fuck you. So yeah.
So in terms of his backstory, we do get some in Clone Wars, and I believe that there's a novel, like a Dooku novel out there that may give you more backstory in terms of his Jedi training and his fall.
Is it canon? Like, is it Disney canonized? Because I know Star Wars Theory, he every once in a while will just dump like some interesting lore stuff that I'm assuming he's pulling from books or comics. I know he did a lot of Dooku stuff recently.
Yeah. So there is an audio only novel. I don't know if it released in 2019.
Oh, so it's good.
It's called Dooku Jedi Lost.
Yeah, so I bet that's fantastic, but it's words and shit, so even spoken words and shit don't jive. All right, next reply. Mark Monarch, Toy Box Photography. All right.
Yes.
Emperor Palpatine. Why? Because he is Star Wars. There wouldn't be a Rebel Alliance without him. The Clone Wars would have never happened. There wouldn't be clones like Rex, Cody, etc. for fans to gawk over if it wasn't for him. Hell, Vader wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't for intricate long game played by Palpatine. The Battle of Heroes wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Palpatine string pulling. I can go on and on. Palpatine doesn't get enough credit that he deserves. And you are right, Mark. I always stump for Palpatine and how he is a masterful long game villain. The guy made it through. He was essentially the bad guy in all 9 films. And as you said, he spawned all these different factions, the Empire, the Rebel Alliance, the First Order, the Resistance, the Clone Wars, the Separatists, all from Sheev's little scheming brain.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's the most masterful Sith ever to exist.
I mean, honestly, even just bad guy in general, like movie bad guy. I know Vader, he got that billing with the OT, and he should have just because of how he looks and what he does. But I mean, if you think about what Palpatine accomplished, he is a bad guy that was telling people his bad plans and actually was able to pull them off. Right? That's almost a joke in most pop culture superhero stuff.
It's like the James Bond villain
the
thing
bad guy always seems like they had the upper hand, but then they get cocky about it, gives the good guys enough time. No. Palpatine was able to get all this shit done. He's so fucking evil. He worked on a 10-year-old boy until he turned him into a lapdog, mentally conditioning him, fucking him up, knowing he was trying to turn this innocent little slave boy into the galaxy's most feared enforcer.
And the good thing about Palpatine is that, like, a lot of the other villains that you see in Star Wars or other properties, they have like a redeemable quality, you know? That's like a, like Kylo, Vader. He is bad to the bone. Yes. Like, he is evil at its most, powerful and to the core. So he's not getting, like, you can't talk to him. You can't have a Luke and Vader moment where it's like, Father, I can still save you. This motherfucker is bad.
Yeah, no, he's like, fuck you. I know everything. I know everything in the past, and I know how everything's shaking out in the future. So I'm sticking to my evil plans. Love Palpatine. Love Palpatine.
So good response
next,
there by Toybox.
Adrian Belgar, aka Action Figure Snaps. Go ahead, Nick.
Got my wanted Baby Yoda shirt on as well, so good call. He's up, so he says Maul just because he don't give a fuck and is the definition of a villain. He's intelligent and powerful in the Force. He's just a hothead, and that's his downfall. But for sure, my favorite. I mean,
he's my number 2 these days, so 100% agree. I'm still going to keep Vader up there just because it's Vader.
It's just like every time we talk about Maul, dude, it's incredible to see his journey. Yeah. Like, if you just think about, like, from episode 1 where he's essentially just used as a brute force.
He's nothing.
Tactic.
Literally, he's nothing. He's an attack dog that even George wrote out of existence right away. I mean, he didn't even see the brilliance in the character himself.
Yep.
Until after the fact, then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm George Lucas. Hey, Dave, you down there?
Make this guy do something.
Bring Darth Maul back to life, thanks."
Yeah, you figure it out, and then Filoni, like the masterful job that Filoni did making Maul,
they got it done.
This just masterful villain that just like his journey from like TPM all the way to the end of Rebels was just
Maul out of most of these villains needed his resurrection through the animated Star Wars verse to reach his levels of infamy, at least for me. I mean, I talked about it. It was watching those last 4 episodes of TCW that it vaulted him up into my top 5, top 2. I was like, okay, I love this guy. Like, he is a Mac Daddy. So
I mean, he was such a survivor.
Yeah,
and
he's a badass. I mean, he fucking looks cool. He's powerful. He shit talks brilliantly. He's awesome. So you knew Maul was going to pop up. All right.
Oh yeah. I will say that a majority of these answers were Vader. So I had to like cherry pick certain Vaders that I liked, and then also pick some other ones in there that weren't Vader that were interesting. So.
I see you grabbed our regular in the fan question of the week segment, who's Brian, action figure noob.
Yes. So go ahead, Matt.
He got one of Nick's Vader's pick. The Rogue One scene really epitomized why he is one of the most badass villains in cinema and pop culture history. I was so happy we got to see that Vader in live action. Even though it only lasted minutes and it was in a prequel movie, all the media we got of Vader from the originals, comics, animated shows, it all led up to that moment, and it was glorious. Yeah, amen. I mean, you and I, we'll scream about this till the cows come home. Vader being Vader in live action is life. That is Star Wars to me. It's everything. We're probably never going to get it, which is sad. But he is amazing when he is allowed to be portrayed the way he is portrayed in video games, comics, books.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you cannot argue with anybody who says that Vader's their favorite villain. And it's just, it seems like that from Rogue One, but it's also just the reason, like if you go watch the original trilogy all the way through, and like you just have this figure that is so menacing that people literally cower when he walks around. Yeah. Like he instilled such fear in his underlings and for just the galaxy as a whole that like people would literally like shrink away when he walked past
his introduction to the world is just, I can't remember my actual first Star Wars memory, but that has been put in place. That's where my brain just defaults, is that black hulking figure walking through the smoke after they use sparklers to light that door on fire.
Yeah, man.
And you just go like, holy shit. Like, why is he in that black armor and all those dudes are in that white armor? Like, oh, whoa. I just, from day one, it's just been Vader, Vader, Vader.
Oh, yeah. So good answer here by Brian.
All right. RoboFigs.
Next up, RoboFigs.
What the hell? Is this Facebook or is this, where are you getting these from?
I actually pulled these off of Instagram on desktop.
Oh, so look at you. That's phone. Why it's not dark mode. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. It's just regular.
It's like, does anyone still use apps with white backgrounds if they don't have a dark mode?
No.
Like dark mode to me is life. There is no, I need dark mode everywhere.
Yeah, dark mode's the way to go. But yeah, I pulled these off of desktop, so that's why it's not the typical
okay, got it.
Dark background. So RoboFigs here, he's also a Vader fan. He's not a poor, P-O-U-R, evil, monstrous like, oh, look at me, I'm evil. As a kid, I always loved the guy because he was just cold, clever, and I loved to see how things panned out. And he loved to see how things panned out and let others do the work for him. He had no fear to face anything. Plus, James Earl Jones has the best voice ever. That's very true. He can handle himself in any situation and be calm. To me, that's scary. My personal opinion, as soon as he felt the Force in Luke, he kind of wanted to see who this guy was. So, I mean, like this, the thing that I like about his answer here was like, he could be calm in any situation. And that was like one of the things when I was watching the movies, like, he's literally just standing there having a conversation with somebody. And then all of a sudden, he's calm, cool, and collected. And then that force choke comes out and the life just starts to drain out of these people.
No, he is. Like, I mean, half the time you think Vader's just sleeping in that fucking suit, right? He's just kind of standing there. Obviously can't see his facial expressions. You hear the breathing apparatus going off just because it has to. But he just, nothing phases the guy. I mean, nothing gets him amped up. You still really even got zero emotion when he was shit talking and fighting his kid to the death. He still never really raised his voice. The most we ever get out of him is when Luke turns on the dark side and beats the shit out of him and chops his hand off. He goes, ah! I mean, that is the most emotion you get out of Vader outside of his initial no and his final no when he kills Palpy.
And that's one thing that was done, masterfully in comparing Anakin to Vader in a way, because Anakin was known
nothing but emotion. Like, exactly, that's all he fucking was.
Just emotion. And once he became Vader, boom, just as stoic as could be.
I kind of credit that to the fact that he was in so much pain and suffering that he couldn't dedicate any of the whininess, cockiness, anger to anything outside of keeping himself together. Yeah,
sustaining his own life.
Like just living. So,
and I mean, like James Earl Jones, not enough can be said about him.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't a huge. He sounds different in Rogue One. I contend he sounds different. I mean, people do lose some timbre as they get older. But it was
like a waver. A bit to the voice.
It did not sound right. I'll just go out and say it. I'll say it now.
I mean, 30 plus years will do that to you. But
all right.
Yeah, I totally agree. Vader. Next up.
Oh, look, Star Wars. Nice. It's Hard Sidious, like Sidious with a boner, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's Hard Sidious is the most evil Vader, most powerful. Maul is just badass, but I gotta go. Okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of walking through all three.
I know what the fuck. That is like the epitome of text typing.
So let's put some punctuation here. It's hard, period. Sidious is the most evil, comma. Vader is the most powerful, comma, and Maul is just badass. but I gotta go Vader.
Okay. Well, now, thank you, Nick. Now it makes somewhat more sense that you added some English grammar to it.
Yeah.
We love you, look, Star Wars, but that's a... I'll just read it as typed. It's hard. Sidious is the most evil, Vader most powerful. Maul is just badass, but I gotta go Vader.
Yeah,
it's
so
like Micro
it comes
Machine
together
Man.
a little bit at the end. But I mean, would you agree with that though? Would you say that Maul, like Vader is the most powerful?
Yeah, if we're just gonna sum them up and with one word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think evil works perfectly for Sidious because that drove everything he did. And Vader, we know he was the most powerful, sans losing some organic abilities due to his disfigurement.
Do you think that when he got all of his limbs chopped off, he lost midichlorians? Did he just lose the midichlorians?
I mean, if you want to science
arms?
it, Nick, you'd almost have to say so. I mean,
I think
they
so,
live in his bloodstream, and he has a lot less blood to be pumped around now.
Yeah,
but I forget where I've read it. Who knows if it's canon or not? But essentially, because of his metal appendages, he can no longer do the Force lightning. He lost some of his athleticism, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, again, he had a guy who essentially just had metal rods jammed into flesh stumps that are still on fire. And they're like, okay, walk and do shit. So he walks like almost like a Terminator.
Yeah, basically.
Like old Terminators. Now Terminators are like all made out of nanites and this, that, and the other thing. I'm talking like the T-800 exoskeleton shit.
Yeah.
Okay, look, Star Wars. And yeah, Maul, probably, he is badass. We know that.
This next one is probably my favorite answer.
That's a good one. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is from Universal Toy Wars. His answer is the Jedi Order. Telling Anakin and the other Jedi who went Sith that their feelings aren't okay is what set them down the dark path. If they taught them to use their feelings the right way, things would have turned out differently.
That is some deep ass shit.
Yeah, that's a deep.
That's almost too deep for the Star Wars time show.
I like it. I like the thought put into it because people, like, when you hear Star Wars villain, like, everybody's like Palpatine, Vader, Darth Maul. If you want to go video games, you get Revan, you get Malak. You get Traya, the Triumvirate. You get, the Second Sisters and all the Inquisitors and all these other video game villains, these book villains and stuff like that. But nobody really gets that level of deep that Universal Toy Wars went. Like, who were the real bad guys here? Who really?
There's like no fucking around. There's a lot of merit to this. It really is, because it was their archaic beliefs, which even kind of hobo Yoda and TLJ kind of says, like, hey, that you like those books? They're fucking stupid.
He's like, we fucked up.
Yeah, it's like we're the dumbasses for being so rigid and sticking to these books and these goofy ways. And I mean, ultimately, Rey and Ben and I think even Ahsoka, they started to realize you need to let a little emotion in. You need to care for people a little bit, because it kind of keeps you on your toes. And you don't become so complacent. And again, and just to throw in Ghosts, like Ghost of Tsushima and how the samurai order was and all their honor systems, this, that, and the other thing. That is what allowed them to get just fucking annihilated by the Mongolian army. Because they would be like, they still believed in honor fighting. Like, you send your best warrior, we'll send our best warrior and have a duel. The Mongols were like, okay. And they dumped, wine on them and lit them on fire. They're like, fuck you. Who cares? Samurai only believed in facing your enemy to kill them. You couldn't go around like a ninja and fucking stab people in the back. So they lost because of their code, their honor system. While I love the samurai culture, and I think it's beautiful, and I love a lot of Japanese culture and how much they pay attention to art and just the idea of honor. Yep. It's what allowed them to be overcome by less intelligent, more brutish races, because they're like, fuck you. What do you mean rules and honor and war? War is fucking war.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to kill you in any way that we can. So.
And that's how the Sith, in particular Palpatine, exploited the Jedi. He knew they were so stringent to these Jedi values of no emotion. Jedis can't experience love, this, that, and the other thing. It was easy. It was like, okay, we can easily start to sow a little discord through these assholes just on the Jedi philosophy.
Yeah, and that was something that the old EU, like when Luke remade the Jedi Order, he definitely loosened those restrictions a bit. We never really got to see the new Jedi Order under Luke. It was explored tiny bits in the Rise of Kylo Ren series. But in the old EU, you could get married. They would allow certain Jedi to dabble in the dark side, like to learn some of it, just so they know what's there and how to combat it if they came up against it. This was probably the most
that's
deep
a good
thought
one.
answer.
I like that. Good stuff.
All right, next up, you want to take this one, Matt? BPP Hayes.
BPP Hayes, probably Jabba the Hutt. He was mentioned in A New Hope, but we didn't see him till Return of the Jedi. Well, we did when they put out the goofy special edition shit.
Yeah.
But he was behind the mystery of Han Solo's life before A New Hope. He was always on Solo's mind, and he never knew if he would show up. In ROTJ, we finally see him in all his scum and villainy at his club. That's a good one, too. Yeah, because he really is. If you think about Han, up until he gets caught, his biggest concern is paying off Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, it's like
that's all he cares about. I mean, he was willing to let the rebellion go during the Battle of Yavin. He was trying to get the fuck out of Hoth to go pay his debts until the Empire showed up and he had to get the princess out of there. So that's another kind of deep cut that I appreciate, that level of insights into our fans' minds.
People don't fucking give Jabba enough credit. Like, he ran a criminal empire for decades. Like, just very well organized gangster there.
Yeah, and he had that guy that said Dewana Wanga.
Yeah, Dewana Wanga. That's what you guys could have been, but you chose Fandalorians,
which we never use because who cares?
I throw Fandos in there.
I like that. I like that. BP. Thank you, BPPP.
Next up, so here's another one. Lima 4 photos. Says Mace Windu.
Thank you.
Not technically a villain, but he embodies almost everything that was wrong with the Jedi Order at the time of the Clone Wars, and what was wrong with the Jedi deserves equal blame as the evil forces that set the galaxy on
100%, Liam, 100%, and I have said this multiple times. I believe Mace Windu is the biggest reason we got Darth Vader. Mace Windu, yes, he's all about the Jedi this and the code, but just watch how he treats Anakin from the get-go with his little, guessing game. Yep, you're fucking too old. You're stupid. I hate you. You're going to fail. You suck. We shouldn't do this. You suck. That's basically the tone. Attack of Clones, you don't really get much of them besides we can't really trust Anakin to do anything. Go babysit Padme.
Yep.
And then again, even when Anakin was finally like, listen, motherfuckers, I'm telling you the truth. I know you don't fucking trust me, Mace. I'm telling you this guy's bad and you're going to need my help to take him out. Mace still says, you know what, Skywalker? This is the first time I'm actually even listening to you as a quasi-equal. And while I do appreciate this information, I still can't trust you. So shut the fuck up and let me go take out some snakes on a plane.
Go sit in the tent in the temple by yourself.
Yeah,
we don't need your help.
Stew on getting shit on again by a master and see what that does to the galaxy.
Good. Yeah, this was a good response here by
100%. I've recently gone back and said that Mace Windu is 100% reason why the Chosen One became Darth Vader.
True. So 2 more responses here. This one from Cryo. He gets a deep cut in here and kind of funny. Ponda Baba and Dr. Cornelius Evazan. So that's Ponda Baba and Scrunch
it's the assholes from the cantina.
From the cantina. He says, like Cronenberg alternatives to Han and Chewie, first to demonstrate the effectiveness of a lightsaber to the world. I love that they were in Rogue One, and I like to ponder possibilities of how they got off the planet before the city of Jeddah was destroyed. So, I mean, they were the first assholes you saw.
Pretty much.
They were like, Luke's just sitting here. He's just fucking trying to order a drink, man. What's your problem?
I like it. And then you got the doctor, and he's got his face is all fucked up. Like it's like something's eating his face alive.
I've got the death penalty on 12 systems.
Yeah. So. No, I like that. Although thinking about how they got off planet before Jeddah was destroyed, this is something people that smoke weed get into thinking about, like that type of just random stuff. So I don't know what Cry is doing over there, but
you think fucking like Panda?
And I love that. I'm not making fun. I love thinking about just random stuff that's not real. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do. But when you start getting that nuance, you may be expanding your mind while you're watching these movies.
A little too much. So, okay, you can take the last one here from Tones.
Last up, Tones, another regular in the fan question of the week. Tarkin loved his cold, calculated attitude and the fact that Vader had to obey him. His pure ruthlessness was expanded in R1 with him taking control of the Death Star, once proven useful and totally obliterating Krennic, his closest threat to gain increasing power to his position within the Empire. And our buddy Bossajan, Star Wars Toys 73, also had a great write-up on Tarkin, but because he essentially typed up an essay, we couldn't quite contain it in a nice, simple screenshot. But it was a well-thought-out reply. He saved the swearing for the end. But he, too, kind of like Tones, was just talking about, like, Tarkin, this guy, I mean, Vader was his lapdog. I mean, that even Leia essentially says, "Ooh, Tarkin let you off your leash" and shit like that. So,
yep. So, I mean, Tarkin is. I think that Tarkin's easily overlooked if you ignore Rogue One, because they're like, yeah, like he was, he was a bad dude.
He blew up an entire planet.
Yeah, he did.
That's a lot of death, probably more than even Vader. He blew up an entire city and probably a quarter of a planet, like 2/4 of a planet, really. I mean, he took out a chunk of Jeddah, and he took out a chunk of Scarif.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's the thing is, like, Rogue One really shows you like the depths of his machinations and his maneuvering and just like the level of like bad that he was. But yeah, I mean, even just A New Hope is enough to show you that this dude was a real piece of shit. So good answers all around. And that was to the question of the week. So next week, I'll try to think of something good. It's getting harder and harder to think of these things. But you know what? That's why we have the show suggestions channel in our Discord. So drop by that and let me know what you think I should ask you guys.
Yeah, start helping us. We're like, we say this all the time. We're kind of dumb and our brains don't give us the ability to think of interesting stuff to keep even the few of you still engaged with the Star Wars Time Show. But the one segment that I'm sure all of you are going like, thank God these 2 gas bags are finally done talking about Star Wars. Now they can talk about us. Us, me. That's right. This is the me segment, the top 5 Star Wars artists of the week. And guess what? It's a special week. It's a +1. That doesn't mean honorable mention. It's motherfucking top 1. So we got the top 5 from Nick, the top 1 from Matt. We're talking about expanding this segment to having fans submit a shot for me to critique in a more honest way, I guess. Like, just kind of let you know what I think of a shot, and no bullshit, like no smoke blowing, no reach arounds, just straight up pure opinions on your shot. What's good, what's bad, or what's all bad, or what's all good. And then
I will say that we have to find out a good way to get the submissions.
I'd already made up a graphic to throw out to like solicit them. I don't know if it's like sending us an email through the site or DMs. DMs get hard
like
to manage
messy sometimes.
Anyways, when I put the graphic up, maybe we'll have figured something out by then. I'm thinking maybe just coming through the contact form, the site might be the way to go.
Might be easy.
Yeah, just send us the link, and we'll kind of create a repository to rotate through that, because what we're going to do, we always do a top 5. We were thinking of doing the +1 on a rotating basis, critiquing fans' work on a rotating basis, me lamenting the hobby on a regular basis, and we needed one more to do like a full month.
One more for a monthly rotation. And like the only, like, some things that I kind of stewed on was like, do like a cosplay showcase like once a week or once a month, where we do like, pick out like a particularly good Star Wars cosplayer.
I'm not against that because I do like the cosplay scene. But I know just at least the super fans, it's something that they may enjoy. It might take a little more management on our end, but I don't think it'd be too hard. But once a month, let a fan choose the top 5.
I don't know,
so
man.
they slide you their choices. We still put up the post, but it's like 1 week, Twinkle Tits picks the 5. Next month, Tones gets a 5. The month
I will say that we'll burn through that in 6 months because that's all that we're going to get.
You're right. In terms of like actual people that listen and want to be involved. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll keep thinking about it, but it's probably not going to be within this week or next because I am headed out to the coast to work remotely. So I don't want to get mixed up in anything new for the site. But I will probably drop at least the graphic for trying to solicit artwork to be critiqued. And we'll think of a 4th because I do agree with Nick. I'd like to have a monthly rotation. So 1 week it's this, next week that, final week that, and then we reboot and do it the next month.
Rotate it around.
But anyways, we're here, top 5 plus 1. Enough of the bullshit. We have been droning and droning. So thank you for those who have stayed for most of the show. Again, I don't know what's wrong with you people. I know what's wrong with myself. I do this shit because I am a psycho. Here we go, buddy. I laid them down there. Again, if you want to get involved in the top 5 or the top 5 plus 1 or this, that, and the other thing, you got to go to @StarWarsTimeShow on Instagram. And when you're there, if you're doing Star Wars art in any form or fashion, be it cosplay, dio building, tattooing, it doesn't matter. Anything Star Wars, hashtag Star Wars Time Show and tag us. Throughout the week, I will feature up to 12 shots every day. And then on Mondays of the end of the week, that we don't really adhere to the Sunday as the end or the beginning. Monday is our end. Nick picks his 5 favorite from my 5 or 6 days of featuring 12 shots. So if you want to get on the fun, if you want to be immortalized on the airwaves that the Star Wars Time Show graces on a weekly basis, that's what you got to do. And tell a friend and subscribe and like this video, share the video, comment, all that other shit to help boost our numbers. All right, my friend, go ahead. Who are we starting with here?
Yes, first up in the top 5 this week is Tong Wars @TONGWARS. Formerly Lego Star Wars Tong on Instagram, and he has a fantastic shot of the Mando facing down some Imperial Remnant troopers, and this is all Lego. That's Tong Wars' thing. He's a Lego photographer, and I mean, really, he just captures the essence of the entire Mandalorian show with this setup so perfectly, because of just like the dio he's using, the way he's got Mando in the foreground, kind of looking at this group of Imperial Remnant troopers, the sand, everything I thought was really well staged and set up.
It's an iconic kind of Western duel type of feel, except in this duel, it's Mando versus 5 troopers.
5 stormtroopers.
And you can tell the troopers are going, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's at least how I don't feel that they are confident in their odds against the Mando, who is starting to raise his arm up towards his ghetto blaster, right? To start just disintegrating people. And then you got like the little Jawas tucked in the very background there. Just kind of,
the very, very
they're
back.
like, okay, let's get the fuck out of this alleyway before shit hits the fan and Lego bricks start flying. But
dude, the only thing that I think could make the shot better is if like on one corner, like in the right corner of the shot, you just see like a tumbleweed like in the air, because that's like the perfect thing for every fucking Old West showdown.
You get the
tumbleweed comes
you
across.
Get the dual music.
Bam!
I love it. I always love what Tong does with the Legos. I mean, he's the one that I always forget where he lives. I believe he's in the UK, but he lives somewhere where he can go out to like this flat lake area and just get some disgustingly vibrant skylines. I'm talking like weird shades of purple, pink, orange. And then he sets the Legos up and kind of pulls out and does a wide angle shot to make them look fucking massive. Always like a Tong Wars. And I believe our other a Sith load of Lego has been taking a break, so we really haven't been getting a lot of the high quality Lego submissions. So we always got Tong Wars.
Tong Wars is also an Australian. He's from New South Wales. So I don't know if that's like right next door to Greg, because Australia is such a small country. Everybody lives right next to each other.
So now you're going with Australia's real. I thought
it's real.
I thought
again,
we decided it's not real and it's fake.
True.
Because it couldn't fit on the flat Earth.
I forgot about that. You're right. It is fake. So
it's a big story against all the world leaders, and it's just to cover Great Britain for murdering their prisoners and just dropping them into the ocean. Yep.
So sorry there, Tong Wars. I know we know that you don't live in Australia, so you must live on the moon base. And it's also interesting because he says that all of his photos are shot and edited on his iPhone XS. Very, very
holy
good stuff.
Piss. Seriously?
That's what's on his Instagram. So.
I tell you, that is impressive. I've always said that equipment truly doesn't matter. I mean, I believe, especially for photography, it's in the eye. Do you have the vision? Can you line this stuff up, or can you at least even see something in your mind? But I've also said just the sheer quality of what a DSLR can do versus these very nice smartphone cameras. But shit, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very impressive.
That's
so
impressive.
At Tong Wars on Instagram.
Oh, I love this next one, dude. I was really hemming and hawing on my +1. I had to get Burkhead in because of his. We'll get there. It's just I couldn't pass that shit up.
Yeah, I mean this one was clearly.
I love this.
Clearly one of the best of the week. So this is from @wretched.hive, wretched.hive on Instagram. And it's the entire cast of the OT. So you have Luke, Leia, Chewie, Han, C-3PO, and R2-D2, except all of the non-droid characters are using R2-D2 as a charging base for their space cell
great,
phones.
Nick. Because this is essentially what we've been reduced to in the 21st century because of these motherfucking devices. I see it. I mean, my wife and I will be sitting there trying to watch a show together. She's on her phone, or I'm on mine. There are times I'm spending precious time with my daughter, who gets older and older every week. Like I'm losing these moments of her being a little kid that just looks at me as a god and wants to hang out. And hey, Dad, are we gonna sleep in the tent tonight? Can we watch Miraculous in the morning? And I'm concerned with scrolling through fucking Instagram to see what people are doing on Star Wars Time Show or featuring shots on Instagram. So I look at this shot, which, as Nick said, you got R2 there, the poor guy. He's got a bunch of iPhone cables coming out of him into everyone's smartphone. Han's holding his smartphone, probably checking the next the bounty board to see where he's at. Yep. Chewie's there talking to someone on Kashyyyk. Luke's trying to dial into Obi-Wan ghost form, and Leia's sitting there going, Did my planet just fucking blow up? Is this news story? Is this fake news? You can just tell. It's like you have all of our characters who were the best of friends, some of them lovers, right next to each other, but so far apart because they're all on their damn smart devices.
Damn right. That is 2020 society for you.
I love it. I mean, this is one of those creative shots that just this brain could never come up with. So I always appreciate seeing people use their imagination and actually execute it in a perfect manner. So I love this Wretched Hive, and clearly IG did as well. I mean, we haven't had something get this many likes in a while since we got put in a little bit of a timeout, but 670 almost likes.
Yeah. Like this is definitely the highest that we've gotten in at least a month. And really,
Wretched Hives, he's another one. Wretched Hive, Grant, he kind of suffers from IG shitting on him. But his work is fantastic. Doesn't even have 2,000 followers yet. I wouldn't say he's a super active poster, but his work is brilliant. He's another one that pretty much anytime we're tagged, it's going to get featured. He speaks to my toy photography eye, if you will.
Yeah, he's got a really great style, and like this one, I mean, this shot is just so perfect.
I love it.
So at wretched.hive on Instagram, go give him a follow.
Don't you feel like R2 is almost being raped at this point? Like it doesn't seem right.
It's just like I can just see him there. Like he's almost just like, oh, really?
He's making one of his sad womp womps. He's going like,
yeah.
He's not having a good time. Okay, so that is at wretched.hive. Give that man a follow.
Yes, please do. Next up, we have Morpheus Visions, and like this shot, I know that these figures are just like super highly detailed, but like this shot that we have of Leia and Wicket awesome. On Endor is a perfect scene recreation awesome. If ever you've seen one.
I mean, Nick, I have this 2-pack. It showed up last week. I haven't taken it out of the box because of shots like this. And I'm just going, I'm not going to be able to set this shit up. I'm not going to be able to find a log that looks like one of those redwoods from, the forest that they shot the movie in. I mean, look at all this shit. I believe this is fully practical.
Holy shit.
I mean, the log clearly is practical. The little mossy stuff under there is practical. But Morpheus, I don't know if you're listening. I know you definitely check out the account and you're excited to get the top 5. So you're in the know of Star Wars Time Show. But if you are listening, or if you're even in the live chat, is this fully practical? Is this a full outdoor shot, meaning it's out in the woods, out in your backyard, or is the all those tall trees in the background, is that digi? Either way, and I still contend this is an outdoor shot because you can always tell the universe's light is very distinct to what artificial light can create. Even great high-end lights like the lume cubes and aperture shit we buy for this hobby, you can't recreate sunlight. You can't get it. So I do believe this is out in nature, which just makes me love it even more and discourages me to break out my Endor, Leia, and Wicket tandem. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's beautiful. Speaking of lume cube, real quick, just a quick drop here. Our good buddy Sir Dork has hit 50,000 followers on his Instagram, and he's doing a giveaway for some lume cube.
He should change his handle
and his own merch.
Change his handle to Big Swinging Dick 50K. You still on, Sir Dork? If you're still listening, I imagine you are because we haven't hit Chaos Cutie shot yet, but that's your new handle.
There we go. So
go Big Swinging Dick 50K.
Go sign up for the giveaway. Get yourself some free Lume Cube merch.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to love Sir Dork. Sir Dork is fantastic. I mean, he's a huge account. He blew up on IG thanks to a viral thing on Facebook like a year or two ago. His YouTube is finally starting to catch fire for those that want to learn about toy photography. He's finally getting the type of views he should get for all the secrets he's showing you. I mean, he shows you everything. And I believe he's starting to get partnerships with like fucking drink companies and stuff to have toys blow up their drinks and do cool looking shit. So I love seeing what's happening to Jared. He's a fucking fantastic dude. He always reps the show, more so than a lot of the big accounts. I mean, he is a genuine SWTS fan. He live streams when he can. He always promotes when he can. And I do appreciate that, Jared, because I mean, there's other mega accounts out there that don't really give two flying fucks. So it doesn't go unnoticed, my friend.
Yes. Thank you for the love. And we hope that we can just give you a little bit of love back. So back on this shot, this was at Morpheus Visions on Instagram. Beautiful shot, setup, execution, spot on scene recreation from ROTJ. So well done. All right. So now we're getting to one of the most, I don't know if it's one of the Super Scoundrel here, maybe one of the most featured artists ever in the top 5, but rightfully so at Super_Scoundrel. And what we get is a just absolutely wonderful Praetorian Guard piece of art here.
This is one of 3 variants he did. And, sometimes I want to share them all. I just get lazy, but he did a red one, I believe a gold one, and then he did one where he added some visor lighting.
Dude, what I don't understand is like, Devin, if you're still in the chat or if you're listening at home, like how long does it take you to do one of these pieces? Because like you put out so much content, and they're all such fucking high quality. Like you put out like a piece a day. Oh, yeah. Does this take?
He had a WW84 run over the fandom weekend. Just some killer work there.
I mean, it's just nuts how Devin at Super_Scoundrel on Instagram puts out top quality shit as often as he does. And like the level of detail that he puts into these images is just mind blowing.
And again, he's a vector artist. We've at least figured that out. So, I mean,
yes.
We don't always have to just say real ass paint for him. And I'm on his page now. So if you're on the live stream and you go to at Super Scoundrel, Super_Scoundrel, and if you look at the shot of the Imperial Guard in red, and you do the swipe over, you can see what vector art is. And I'm assuming Homeboy's got to like render all these motherfucking lines. It's almost like he's building a wire model that he then somehow illustrates or paints.
That's so fucking crazy, man. Like I've dabbled in Illustrator and stuff like that when I was still in school. And like when you like, I never got into like using a Wacom tablet or anything like that to like physically draw out with my hands. I always did like, you know, like tracings using the actual vector tools in Illustrator. But like the level of detail that he goes into is just so nuts.
It's crazy.
Like you literally have to go in and like fill in all these colors, and not like he's, you know, the colors, the gradients, the fucking the reflections and everything that he puts into it is just so nuts.
I'm just like, again, I'm looking at the vector outline and I'm just going, that had to have taken a year. Yeah. Like I can't even draw a line crooked. Like I can't draw a period. And I'm assuming these are hand drawn, or maybe you do like a dot to dot if you have a long line. But I think every one of these little vector outlines has to be drawn. And then the nutty part is, dude then has to paint it. Yep. And the paint has to be shadowed or lit certain ways, and then to make it look glossy, it's all fucking nuts. That's why we don't understand real ass paint. All we know is it looks fucking fantastic. And as I've said a million times, someone pay this motherfucker to put out a high end, thick, glossy, shiny coffee book of his art, please.
Yes. I mean, any type of merch that we could get from Devin and his work would be greatly appreciated, because this, like, the shit is just mind-blowingly good. Every piece he puts out. So at super_scoundrel on Instagram, give him a follow. You will not be disappointed. Every post that he puts out is just
I mean, I have his page up right now, so you can see all three variants. He went with the red, the blue, and then, like I said, you kind of got the gold with the lighted visor.
Yeah, this gold one actually looks a lot like a
it's like Commander Pyre. You know, it's that look.
And like there was, so like the Eternal Empire was back in SWTOR, the online MMO for Star Wars. And they had troopers that looked very similar to that.
The intern popped in. He must have got off work. Yes,
intern
we are.
Popped in.
Intern, we're going on 318 at this point, buddy. I'm surprised anyone is even still alive. Most of them probably have their heads face down into a bowl of cereal or their dinner at this point. I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about anymore.
I know Devin was here at one point, but he probably jumped out.
People
during
fucking leave, come back. They're like, you fucking dumbasses are still doing this shit.
We're still
it's
going.
Star Wars, you losers. Go away.
But guess what? We still got a couple more shots to go.
Oh my God, I'm
here
sweating. Like I got pit stains and everything. I got some Fremunda going on down here. The duck butter starting to churn out the asshole. But yeah, at super_scoundrel, hook it up. Follow that motherfucker. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah. So our last one in the top 5 this week is at Chaos Cuties, with her fantastic C-3PO. This is the samurai variant C-3PO. Yeah. And what really fucking makes this shot to me is, one, the pose, because it looks like he's like jumping in the air. He's got his little fan out. There's this big explosion in the background, but you can still see like the lilies and all of the flowers happening. It's almost like he's running away from a temple that's exploding.
Yeah, that's probably Jared in the background lighting something on fire with his blowtorch.
But I love the pose. I love the setup. I love the background imagery. And just like that figure's face is so perfectly built for this shot. I just love everything about it.
He's like, he gives no fucks. He's like, yo, I'm Goldenrod, and I just blew the fuck out of something. He's just like, hey.
He's like skipping.
Like,
away
I wish we could
his...
see him waving that like a geisha girl too, because that's how C-3PO would be using that little fan, and that's really how they made the figure. I mean, they made him as essentially a geisha. I mean, he didn't get any weapons or anything. He give him a fucking fan, but Chaos Cuties made him bad. He's like a ninja. He's like a samurai. He just did something, dropped some black powder somewhere and blew the fuck out of something. And now, he's waving himself off, jumping away like, I just did that.
I fucking love it, man. I love everything about this shot. So, beautiful work here at Chaos Cuties on Instagram, and like you put in the post too, her muse really is C-3PO. Right. If you scroll through her feed, a lot of the toy shots that you'll see on the Star Wars side are C-3PO, but you get a good mix of Pokemon.
Yeah, she's into a lot of the other pop culture stuff.
Some Harley Quinn in there as well. So there's a lot of good pop culture icons at work here as well. I see she's also got a My Hero Academia Bakugo.
Yeah, I mean her and Jared are they're well educated pop culturists. They're into slightly different stuff than my old ass is. I've talked about this. I completely missed the Pokemon craze because I think it was high school for me or middle school. I was too concerned with what most young men are concerned with, and that is, feeling what it feels like to have someone besides yourself touch your penis, right? I mean, that's really all I was concerned about. So I missed all the Pokemon craze, and really that just kind of took me out of most of that anime stuff. Like, I don't get into the Studio Ghibli?
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like all that shit. I think that's why I like Miraculous, because it is kind of anime.
That might be your end.
And
I
do I love the Japanese culture in general. I've already talked about this, but yeah, Chaos Cuties at Sir Dork. They're a fun pair to follow. Yes, they are a couple in real life. They make art together. They blow shit up together. They light stuff on fire together. It's a beautiful coupling. And you also have to appreciate the nipples on this C-3PO, right? Look how they I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Look,
like they positioned them perfectly.
Hell yeah, they did, because some samurais, that's how they would deck their armor. I mean, literally, he's got a little knob on his one nipple, and then he's got the fat nipple syndrome on the other. Great figure though. I mean, this is one of my favorite. What are these? The Tamahashi Nations Star Wars samurai stuff. So good looking work there, Chaos Cuties. Keep tagging it up. High five, Sir Dork, for us. Have a drink,
there we
smoke
go.
a doobie.
And that's the top 5. So that'll bring us to Matt's top 1. So Matt, tell us
now we're
what
getting
we
in.
got here.
This is where the fun begins. Hey, everyone's great. I mean, you're great if you even get featured on our little stupid page, so don't worry about it. But if you get the top 1, you truly are excellent.
The best of the best.
And that goes to a Star Wars Time Show tagger in Burkhead Toys. And I actually double featured Burkhead Toys, which I rarely do. As I just said, with a lot of Devin's work, I mean, I want to share all 3 variants, but it's a lazy thing. But what we're looking at here, what Burkhead has achieved with, I'm assuming he fashioned this. All right, let me set up the shot so people actually that are listening and know what we're looking at. We're looking at a full Beskar Mando, kneeling down and handing a mini Mando helmet to the child, aka Baby Yoda. It is fucking fantastic. Like, I mean, cuteness overload, if you want to get into that. It is just, I absolutely love it. It's like the father going to the son. You've made it. You are a man now. Here is your helmet. Let's roll. So I mean, first off, it's a great shot. I mean, it's framed perfectly. See that wall there, Nick? That's what I was trying to make, and clearly people figured out a way how to make them without chopping up a bunch of pieces. Because that's exactly what I want. So he's got like I'm going to call it a light leak wall. I'm sure that's not the proper term, but it's like grating, and he has his light source behind it, and then using atmosphere aerosol or fog or whatever, he gets light rays to leak in. So I mean that's awesome. I like the Dio itself, but it really is. It's that little fucking Baby Yoda Mando helmet.
Yeah.
And the little baby reaching to it like, yes, I have earned this honor, Father. Let's go find those space wizards, or let's go get a puck.
Yeah, dude, it's so perfectly executed.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his other one because you need to see them both.
Do you think so? Do you think that if and when Baby Yoda gets a helmet, that his ears will stick out the side?
I hope so, because look, I'm sorry you can't see it, Nick, but if you pull up his page, those of you on the live stream, if you pull up at Burkhead Toys, BURKEHEADTOYS, damn straight his ears stick out. I love it. I love it. I mean, look at it. In this shot, you got Mando and the baby. They're kind of walking through a city street, and the troopers are looking at like, oh, what the fuck is this? This is probably something we shouldn't mess with, because we know he's a badass, but whatever that little green thing is wearing a helmet, we don't even want to get mixed up.
Yeah. We don't want to mess with it.
So I always love creativity, and I love it even better when the shot's actually pulled off and it's a good looking shot, because sometimes you can have a great idea and the execution isn't quite there. Clearly Burkhead Toys had a fantastic idea and executed. I'm not sure where the hell he got this helmet for the baby, but it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic and fits the baby so well.
It does, dude. It fits perfectly on his head.
If you notice, those of you that are collectors, it looks like Burkhead Toys got the new variant of the child that's going around that I'm pissed that I don't have. And I say that, Nick, because notice how now the collar and the rolled up sleeves are very noticeable. Yep. Different color. First run, it's all the same fucking color. Like it's just
all brown,
pretty much. So this is one of those deals where sometimes a toy company will release a figure, and then for whatever they're like, oh shit, let's next. Hey, John, next production line, why don't you crank down the brown a little bit, and then now you have this. So
much clearer.
Oh, okay. Burkhead Toys is in the live stream for those of you that were wondering, and he did design and printed it. So, and he's got it on Thingiverse, which if you're in 3D printing, you know what that is. I do, and I know a friend that can use it, and I will be getting this helmet printed stat.
There we go.
So
that's awesome.
Thank you, Burkhead Toys, for that update. And again, just amazing work there. Great idea, great execution. I love Mando with the child in Beskar. It's just fantastic.
100%. Well, that's the end of the top 1, the end of the top 5, and the end of the show.
Thank God.
3.5 hour long show.
Thank fucking God. I mean, I guess we should almost put out a disclaimer, because we're not going to have a stream next week. You may want to save an hour and a half or hour plus a half of this bullshit to watch some of it next week, because my Lord. A new record here, my friend. We almost went full Stern. I believe we did go full Stern because he takes breaks. We do not. So 3.5 hours of talking. Fuck off. That's pretty much how I want to sign off today. But I won't. We'll do the dance, because that's what we do about this time. And the dance, get your ass over to StarWarsTime.net. It even works on my computer. It doesn't always. So that's why I had to throw in that disclaimer. But why do you want to go here? Well, we put some content out there. We're not just a toy feature page. We are a Star Wars fan page that also happens to pay homage to other Star Wars fan artists. So once you're on StarWarsTime.net, you can look at all of our dumb content, but more importantly, you can hit that subscribe to podcast link. If you like listening to podcasts, we're on all the platforms. All that we ask is that if you do subscribe on a platform, please rate and review. I cannot stress how important this is. I say it all the time. It doesn't seem to sink in, probably because everyone is tuned off by this point of the show. But by liking our YouTube videos, commenting on YouTube videos, rating our show on whatever podcast platform you work on, it all appeases the search engine gods. All right? They go, hey, this Star Wars Time show has 100 user reviews. It's probably better than this Star Wars show that has 28. Did you guys get that? We're not the show with 100. We're the show with 28. So fucking fix that on any of the platforms, specifically Spotify. Stitcher is now, that belongs to Sirius, Pandora. So like the big ones. Let's go. That's how we boost the numbers. Remember, no handouts here. No handouts. We're not begging. We're not asking for free money. There's no episodes locked behind some paywall. We just want you to do your part and get to the liking, the rating, the reviewing, and telling other Star Wars fans to do the same damn thing. Because you super fans, you've already done the work. We need the casuals and the newcomers to get there and do the ratings, the reviews, their likings, their commenting on YouTube. And by the way, while you're on StarWarsTime.net, you can also find our YouTube channel. It's right down here in the sidebar. Click on subscribe. Get your ass in on the action. If you want to get in on the fan segment, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Star Wars Time Show. That's where we do the battle brackets for you to vote on. That's where we do the fan question of the week for you to drop your answers, which may get featured on an episode of the show. And obviously, it's where we call the top 5 or the top 5 plus 1. So if you make Star Wars art, if you just like Star Wars and you want to chat with some other people, hit us up on Instagram. And we also have a Discord server now for more Star Wars talk when the show ends. And we actually do have a somewhat regular discussion on our Discord, so I'm quite impressed. But it is from the super fans, and we need more of you. So get with it. There's always time for Star Wars time. It's easy to remember. There's always time for Star Wars time. See? It almost rhymes. And last but not least, if you do listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you. Always.